All right.
Oh my god.
All right, what's up, everybody? What's up? Hello, hello. Welcome to the show. We are ready for the show today. We got episode 8, right? That's what it is, episode 8. I highly believe it is. Hopefully, I'm not messing that one up. I think it is. But yeah,
I
so,
think so.
yeah, Share Button Podcast, episode 8. We're all super excited to be here. I'm very appreciative of everyone who showed up to the show this week. Make sure you guys hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, you're new to the show. This show is about talking about video game news and everything. So we're definitely gonna be talking about abandoned PS5, some Dead by Daylight stuff, Phil Spencer, some Nintendo stuff, and then Hades PS5 release. So hope you guys are ready for all that. We're really excited to get the show going. So let's just start off with some intros. We'll get Ant. Go ahead.
Bro, Hades came out on the Xbox, bro. Like, also, why are you keeping them out? You know what I'm saying? That's not fair. But what's going on, guys? It's me, Anthogar. You already know. You can check out my channel for Anthogar. I've been covering the abandoned things a lot. You know, I was Team Fake turned Team Real. But go check those channels out. Also, follow me on Twitter at Anthogar, and, we'll get the show going.
All right. Sounds great. Sounds great. Little.
Hi, I'm Little, and if you guys want to follow me, you guys can follow me on Twitter at Little Lamb, but with the V instead of a big B. And yeah, I guess Ant doesn't want to say what he's been playing because that's usually what we say we do.
Oh, yeah, I completely forgot. All right, so check this out, right? Whew, wow. I started playing The Last of Us 2 because I never got to play that. My PlayStation broke like 2 days after it came out. I was waiting for like the 60 frames per second patch. So I got that. I've been playing that, and honestly, that's really it. I really haven't played too much. I've been concentrating so much on making content. So that's really been my week.
Okay. Okay. So Little, do you
Yay.
wanna say what you're
I
playing again?
honestly haven't been playing too much either. I've been focusing on Ratchet and Clank, getting the platinum, which I'm kind of there, which is a silly one. I have like 6 trophies left. I 100% the game, like the whole story. So I got everything I need. So I'm just getting my 6 trophies and then hopefully I get another platinum.
All right. Cool. Cool. So
My
JT.
first one on PlayStation 5.
JT.
JT, what's going on, everybody? I'm JT. I'm your resident fighting game guy usually, so I've just been playing. Dragon Ball Z just came out with a new patch last week, so I've been playing a lot of that. And I mean, everybody's still hype over Abandon, and whether it's Silent Hill or Metal Gear, so I've been playing a lot of Metal Gear Solid 2, and that's really it. Just been playing those two, and that's it. Being with my family. My wife about to give birth, so taking care of her too.
All right. Sounds great. Sounds awesome. I guess some new DBZ updates and everything. Just because we don't have that on the actual notes, anything you want to touch upon that on those updates on Dragon Ball Fighters?
Well, I mean, if anybody's familiar with the game, they updated it to the point where it plays like a brand new game. So they changed not just a couple characters, they basically changed the entire system mechanics for the game. So if anybody wants to play it, now is the chance to get in because it is like a brand new thing.
Okay, so real quick, right? How? I'm lost. What do they do?
So normally, how like it's a three versus three tag team fighting game. So you can normally do a combo, and at the end you can't tag whenever you want. They changed the system mechanics to the point where after any special move, you just hold the your partner button, and you can call in another person. So and they gave
Interesting.
system wide, they gave every single character got buffs. So every character is good now, not just a couple. Everybody's good.
Interesting.
Sounds
So
cool.
okay. So
Like yeah,
basically,
Ant, real fast, like Ant. I know you played Frieza for the short amount of time you played it, right?
The
So now
complicated
they
ass character.
yeah, so they made it now that with Golden Frieza, once you change him into Golden Frieza, he stays Golden Frieza if you tag him out indefinitely, and if you kill any character, it resets the timer, so you can just keep him. If you're nice, you can just keep him like that. So I mean, like they changed a lot. It's a new game.
Oh damn, that's lit as hell. What the heck?
okay, okay. That sounds dope. That sounds really dope. Okay. Yeah, probably have to check it out. I own that game in like on every platform for no reason, but yeah, so I gotta play. I gotta play it. But yeah, so let's move on. Let's get on to the show. Let's talk about the first thing we are gonna be talking about today is the main title, the thing that we started the show off with back in episode 1, and we're still talking about this for how many
Doesn't
weeks?
end.
Yeah, 8 weeks straight, kind of basically. Probably missed probably 1 week of it, maybe, of us not talking about it. But yeah, that's abandoned PS5. So big things have happened since we last went live. Um, yeah, so last time we went live on our show here, that was before the actual trailer actually revealed. It was the day of the trailer being revealed, from what I remember. But nothing showed up because the app got delayed, or the patch for the app got delayed. So, we're all waiting. We all thought it was gonna come later that day or something, or the next day, but no, it ended up coming out on Friday. So Friday 13th, the app got updated, and we got a trailer on the app, which is a trailer that we've already seen on Twitter. So everyone was really mad about it, and yeah, so that's the first part of the story. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about what you guys think about that whole part of the release. We'll touch upon the interview and like the latest stuff right after this. But just give me guys your brief opinions on this, I guess, on this whole update. So I guess anyone can start.
I'm still team real. I mean, honestly, my problem is right, and this is just not about just the app. This is about everything, right? What person what studio would go through these links, right, to literally murder their game before it releases, right, for a little bit of internet hype? You know what I'm saying? Because we can't judge the success of Abandon based on how many people are talking about it, right? Because if that's the case, then Cyberpunk 2077 is the greatest game of all time. You know what I'm saying? Even though we know it's not. So when you look at Abandon, why would a studio go out of their way to destroy their game on purpose by linking it to Hideo Kojima and then coming out and trying to blame other people for it? Listen, why is there's no, as weird as everything is, like, because I agree, it is definitely weird. Why would somebody do that? Nobody would do that to a passionate project, because what is it that he says on Twitter all the time? First, he always reiterates we're 100% real, because every time JT talks to me, he reminds me he's real, because if not, I'll forget. And the next thing is, he says we're a small team of passionate people. Why are you putting your small team of passionate people through this ringer for no reason at all? This definitely Konami, or definitely Silent Hill, something along those lines. This isn't. People feel like they're getting scammed, but they didn't take anything from you. They didn't buy this. They didn't scam you. If they're scamming anyone, it's themselves. You know what I'm saying? But I'm telling you, nobody would go through these links for that. This is real.
Okay. I want to ask Little real quick, because I feel like she has probably the least to say. But any opinions on this?
Because you remember, I was there when you were live, and the app went up. I wasn't there, so you had to show it to me like a few minutes after. And literally my whole time being there, I was like, okay, they're gonna reveal something really cool, something very different. And then when I got there, it was just something that Twitter had already seen like 2-3 days ago, which to me was just like, at this point, it's like, why did you guys do that? Or why didn't you just say something like, hey, this was the one that's gonna be on the app? They like overhyped it again. And I was just like, it was just very funny. Like at that point, it's just like hilarious. Like that was just like the cherry on top for like the comedy on it. So I don't know. To me, it's just like, at that point, even the way it looked so good that I will not lie. Like seeing it from Twitter and like seeing it on the PlayStation 5, that looked really, really good. Like the trailer looked great.
Agreed. Like
it looked beautiful.
Can we ban this guy from the chat? He's just saying racist stuff.
Oh really? I don't know how to do it.
Oh well, I guess we'll just have to ignore him.
Okay.
You have to either mod someone, or you can do it yourself. Okay. Can you delete it from it or not?
Hey, let him be racist unless anyone's black other
He
than me.
keeps going.
I'm not offended, so let him do what he's doing.
Well, while Alberto takes care of that, I'll keep going with Abandon.
Go ahead.
So the truth is, Valeria, I love what you said, right? This is almost comedic, right? It's actually funny, because it's, again, this is so odd and like so weird that it is just, there's literally no reason for that to happen. Like literally no reason. It's like you said, this borderline becomes comedy. They have a problem getting a 4-second video onto the app when, small indie teams have apps all the time. I mean, they have updates all the time on their games and everything. And you're telling me because in one message he says this game is on technical par with Red Dead Redemption 2. But now in another message he's saying, "Oh, we had a hard time getting an update onto our app." Like, come on, you know what I'm saying? Like, which one is it? Are you guys on par with Red Dead Redemption 2, or are you not?
Can you mod me real quick, since I guess you don't know how to do this? Not trying to be mean or anything.
I don't know how to mod you. Talk. Oh, I got you.
There's
Just
someone
click
else
on her
here.
name.
Yeah,
got
and
you.
I guess I see it
I
myself,
got you
but you
too.
don't.
I'll get you Anthogar. So you guys got it.
But yeah, so
Let me see.
All right, sorry guys. Sorry guys. We're just trying to deal with the chat real quick. Sorry. But yeah. Yeah. What was
No,
it
Yeah.
no,
called?
thank you.
But yeah. JT, do you have anything to say about it?
I do, man, and I mean, I'm still Team Real. Everybody knows I don't deny, I don't hide that I'm a Kojima fanboy. I'm a PlayStation fanboy. I even say to the point where when I was younger, showing the trailer for Metal Gear Solid 2, that's the reason why I got a PlayStation 2 instead of an Xbox when I had the opportunity to get one. So I mean, I'm 100% Team Real, but I understand why everybody's pissed. I understand that it was a complete troll that Blue Box Studios did with the little 4 second clip that they had on Twitter, and then it's the same exact thing during the app release. Didn't make any sense to me. And I mean, I was pissed myself, but at the same time, I took a step back and I see a lot of people having a lot of harsh reactions to it. And I'm just gonna get real for a second. I'm gonna date this. It's the 17th of August. There's a lot of real shit going on in the world, and for people to get that upset over a game on Twitter, I mean, at the very worst, it could either be a bad game or it could be a good game, but it's still a game. I don't think anybody goes into the intention of making a game and making something bad. Everybody wants to make a good game at the end of the day. So I feel like people are taking it way too seriously.
Yeah, I agree.
yeah, I
Oh,
agree
yeah,
with
man.
that too. I've seen a lot of people get like really upset about this, right? And like it's gotten to the point, right, where it's like, oh, even if this is Kojima, like I'm just tired of it. I'm just tired of it. It's like, yeah, that's literally the point, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you have the option to not play games you don't like. If you don't like where this is going, if you don't like the whole Kojima thing, because I mean, I'm gonna tell you, I'll say this up front, man. I love conspiracies. I'll go full deep dive into the conspiracies, looking them up all day, just having fun, and so I don't mind the whole intrigue aspect of this. But if this annoys you, it's very easy to ignore it. Just don't pay attention to it.
Yeah.
And it's just really right. Why would you not want to pay attention to it? Whether you're team real, team fake, team don't care. What have you guys been doing this summer in the gaming community that's been so energetic and so entertaining, right? That's more fun than paying attention to this. Because at the end of the day, literally nothing's going on. You know what I'm saying? Like nothing else is going on. If it wasn't for Blue Box like making the world go on fire, then it would really be crazy.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
will
Alberto,
say,
Twisted Spark said if you want to make him a mod, he could take all these people out while we focus on the stream. So
it's
I
the same
definitely,
person, just doing
Twisted
it.
Sparks.
yeah, Twisted Spark said he'll mod for us if he wants, so we can concentrate on this because they keep coming out and going crazy. So we need mods in the chat.
Are you guys able to do it at all?
I'm doing it.
I mean, I'm taking them off as they come, but when we're
How do
talking,
you
I'm
how
not
do you
looking
just
at
take
it.
them off? I don't get it. How can you just not like take them out?
You
I
just
don't get it.
put, like, I mean, you can. But he's just saying, like, to
Sorry, guys,
focus on
we're
it.
trying to figure this out.
But listen, I don't look. I'm looking, if anything.
Yeah, I that's what I
Uh,
wanted to do. I wanted to.
But one thing I will say, since you guys are talking, I haven't really talked because
Yeah.
you guys thought I was done, but I wasn't done, bitches.
Okay, sorry.
Basically was I will say, marketing, great. Because that day that the app came, you cannot tell me that it was trending. Abandon was trending. Kojima was trending. Blue Box was trending. Especially Abandon. Like that thing was trending for like hours on my end. And to
Yeah,
me, it's just
same.
like
You're absolutely right, man. What was, even whether you hated it, whether you were talking shit, or whether you loved it, what was everybody doing? Everybody was on there either watching somebody on the PS5 or they were on their PS5 themselves.
Yep, everyone was sitting there paying attention because that was the only thing you could do, just pay attention and just be excited about this thing. And yeah, and then be disappointed by what happened. But to me, honestly, I wasn't surprised. Like I'm not saying that it's a good thing that it happened the way it did, but I wasn't surprised by what happened because this studio has been doing this the entire time. They haven't, not once have they came out and done something I would say like good or right. Like since the day that they delayed the app and had Hassan in the white turtleneck make that video at like 10 a.m. on the dot, it was just very like orchestrated and stuff. And I don't know. I just feel like same thing what you guys are saying. Like if I just don't know about the whole scam, this being a scam thing, because what is the point? Like what is the end goal? Like is there money to be made? What are they looking for? So That's just my main thing there. So I don't know.
I'm gonna cut you off real quick because
Yeah.
I don't want this to go away. But Bill DeLuz, thank you so much for the $2. We appreciate it, and thank you.
You said like, what's the goal, right? Like, what's the
Yeah.
end goal? He says that money. It costs money to get yourself onto the PlayStation Store the way Abandon was pushed on the store, right? It costs money to get onto the PlayStation blog to have an article written about you. I can't imagine someone spending towards the upper 50Ks to market this game, promote this game, get this game out there, to just it be literally nothing. You know what I'm saying? To be literally nothing.
I'll do you one better. Can No one would have the amount of money, or no one would have the smarts to pull off the marketing, the amount of publicity that Blue Box is getting right now. Because I mean, if it's not a Kojima game, if it's not something Silent Hill, you know the dude is gonna get chewed up. I don't think it's fair, but I don't think that studio will survive if this has nothing to do
Oh, it's
with
most
Silent
definitely fair.
Hill. You know what I'm saying? Just imagine. We've been talking about this for 8 weeks in a row. This is the end game. The end game is to get people talking, and it's working because that's what we're doing.
And you know, right, JT, I love that you said that because I think the true end game wasn't getting people to be team real or team fake. I think for Kojima, the real end game was people just being like, "Yo, I'm done with this. I'm tired of this. This is too much."
To feel abandoned, right?
To feel abandoned. And guess what? What happened? Like I said, at this point, even my people on my videos that are team real, they're giving up. They're like, yo, I'm telling people like, yo, go play your video games, right? Go catch up on your backlog. Go take a walk. Like, don't watch this so closely every day. But that's exactly what it's supposed to be because people are like, oh, if it's Silent Hill, no one's gonna care no more. Oh, that's not true. All they have to do is announce that this is Silent Hill, and it will take the world over. Oh, Kojima's a genius. He did it. Blah, blah. It's everything that I could imagine Kojima wanting to accomplish with this. It's literally falling into place perfectly.
Yeah.
If there's one thing you could say about Kojima, and this has been since at least since I started playing his games with PS1, when he and you know this even if you play Death Stranding, when you play a game, he wants you to feel a certain type of emotion. And I mean, even as far back with Metal Gear 2, and I've been saying this, nobody knew that you weren't going to play Solid Snake during that game. When you're done playing the game, the plot of the game is that the main character is being manipulated by someone else. When you're playing the game yourself, you feel like you were just manipulated because nobody told you weren't going to be playing as the main character. It was completely thrown out of nowhere. So it fits in, man. It fits in with him just trying to make feelings go into games. But I could
And
just
on
reading super into it.
But honestly, right, in order for it to be Kojima, there has to be something to really super read into. If this was very shallow level, then I would just be 100% front with you guys. Wouldn't think it's worth covering or anything. In the chat, they said, until Sony or someone confirms it's not Kojima / Silent Hill, then I think I'm Team Real. And I think that's the correct way to go. I don't care how many people tell me it's not Team Real. None of you guys are working on the game. Or tell me it's not Team Fake. None of you guys are working on the game. Until somebody comes out and tells me it's not Silent Hill and Kojima has nothing to do with this, I'm 100% with Jess right now. That it is definitely Silent Hill.
I made a video on my channel talking about Abandon, and I had somebody give me like a 4-paragraph long essay explaining why this had nothing to do with Kojima. He knew the inside details from Blue Box Studio and everything. And I asked him, I was like, do you have a family member working on this game? And the only response I got was a winky smiley face. So I mean, this is what people are saying.
Yeah. Those are the YouTube and Twitter's people who have hit insiders.
Yeah, the insiders.
All these people sit there and they give you all their facts on why this is Team Fake, right? And when you read all of it's straight based off of emotion. But I can give you some facts, right? Some facts are nobody would do this for no reason. That's factual, right? Because the point of a game coming out is also for it to be made sales, not to be talked about, right? So it has to sell well. So nobody will hype their game up like this for no reason. Another fact, right? Kojima's teasing this. Another fact. Jeff Keighley coming out and saying hi, exclamation point, which when you look at it, looks like hi. It looks like Hill. Yeah, sorry. It says hi, but it looks like Hill. And then I had somebody literally come in and say, oh, just because he tweeted hi to Kojima don't mean nothing. And it's like, listen, I just want you guys to know, right, that Hideo Kojima and Jeff Keighley, they're friends. You know what I'm saying? They're friends. I'm almost positive. If I needed to tell Valeria hi, I would text her. I would not tweet to her hi with 2 exclamation points. I wouldn't do it to JT or Alberto because it's just, unless I'm teasing something, why would I do that?
And what Kojima, what he tweeted out to kind of like hint at this, he tweeted out, it was like a little toy little pop figure of him with a zipped up mouth standing on a blue, it wasn't a blue box, but he was standing on like a blue splatter or something.
Yeah, I seen that. Yeah, there's a lot, and I think one of the biggest things is this image I have pulled up on the stream right now is this is one of the biggest things that made people like, oh, we don't believe it anymore because
This is what I've seen a lot too.
yeah, this image
Oh
here,
yeah.
it's like a
Low quality
timeline.
PDF.
Yeah, so it's like this timeline of showing like what Blue Box has done since 2015, which is 2015 is the same year that PT. What was it? PT released? Or no, it was when what's his name? Hideo Kojima
That's
left.
when he left. Yeah.
That's when he was officially gone. Yeah. So this studio basically pops up at the same time, and then it's just talking about how like there's all these different games they made that just never came out. Like they just get announced and then they actually never release.
I went digging into this because someone in that whole paragraph that someone sent me, he talked about this, and the only footage I could find for any of the games that Blue Box made are from 4 months ago. I can't find anything earlier than 4 months ago. So someone in the comments, someone correct me if I'm wrong, but that's all I can find. I'm digging myself.
I know. First things first, right? That picture, I'm mad that even exists. That just smells like Reddit. You know what I'm saying? That has no factual proof, no nothing. That just looks like Reddit. But I will tell you this, right? I read that. I looked into the games that they made. Everything that Blue Box Studio has their name attached to is very easily made and placed their name onto, right? Nothing actually ever released. It's very easy. If Kojima was going to sit there in 2015 and start something like this and have this in the background, then everything that Blue Box is connected to wouldn't be impossible for someone to fake, you know what I'm saying? Because they're not connected to anything. And everybody's like, this is a fake studio. This is a fake studio. Like,
bro, that's exactly what it needs to be.
At this time, didn't Kojima went on like a world tour to every single studio that Sony owned, like to see which engine he wanted to use for Death Stranding? So he would have the resources. He would have he would know everybody in order to do this. I don't think anybody else would be able to pull this off.
Bro, another crazy thing about it is like people don't understand this one thing, right? Because again, the end goal. You always think about like what's the point of all this, right? If you look at everything that has happened, all their games are like asset flip games. So basically being games that they use from the store that are just like available. You basically put no work into any of this stuff, right? All the stuff that's ever been made costs no money to make, right?
Hey, Bill DeLuz, he put up a super chat real fast, and thank you for that. He said, what do you think about the day Blue Box was founded, being that it's the same date 1 year after PT?
Yes,
coincidence?
exactly.
And I mean, we got puzzle pieces fitting in. That's what it is.
There's a lot, bro. And the thing is, this entire document that you're seeing right here on the screen, I knew about this exact information back in June. Like all this stuff was already known. It's just that again, the big thing that happened with the whole Blue Box situation this past week or whatever is that it became mainstream. And then, like a lot of just people who don't care about Kojima, a lot of people who don't care about Silent Hill or Metal Gear Solid started talking about this, and they just all chose to like started hating on it and like try to come up with the craziest stuff to just hate on everyone who's talking about this, just so that they can laugh at them and be like, oh, it's fake. Like that's like the whole thing that happened here. But this little chart here has never like changed my opinion because again, I knew all this from the beginning, and just like the guy mentioned in chat, yeah, this was made on the same day a year after PT release. So this, that's just weird. That's just all this weird stuff. But one thing I want to mention that has nothing to do with this graph here, but I want to mention this real quick because I didn't bring it up earlier, is the fact that Kojima and Jeff Keighley went on Twitter and were congratulating and like celebrating the 7th year anniversary of PT. And this is the first time they've ever talked about PT on Twitter, ever acknowledged it, right? And I want to say there's one major...
never been acknowledged at all. It
never.
just happens to be a coincidence.
And then never, and let's acknowledge the 7th year, because that's such a monumental
year.
You
know? So that's my number one thing I want to talk about, is that you don't celebrate something after... Like, you only celebrate something when it's the 1st year anniversary, the 5th year anniversary. Or you
celebrate every year.
Or you celebrate every year, that's another one too. Or the 10-year anniversary, right? Who in the world celebrates the 7th year of something? That doesn't make any sense.
Oh, can I answer that? People who are trying to tease the game coming out soon, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They made it themselves.
Exactly.
The people who need to get the kick out of the crowd, and it's like Jarvie Rock says again, right? I say it all the time. This is the truth. Nobody got scammed here. They didn't. If you want to say finessed, okay, they finessed you out of some time. You know what I'm saying? But it's all a part of the plan. Nobody got scammed here. The app was free. You didn't give no money to Blue Box Studios.
They never said how long it was going to be. They never said it wasn't something that they already released on Twitter either. So I mean, I got pissed and then I laughed at it. I'm like, they got me.
Yeah.
But literally, right, JT? Think about it. How many times you yourself, right? You're a pretty straightforward person, not really too emotional, right? How many times does something actually sit there and piss you off? Like, that's a mission accomplished in my book. You know what I'm saying? That's impressive.
I sat by
Dave
myself
says.
afterwards and said they got me. My bad. Go ahead.
No, you're good. Dave says that it can't be a scam because they got one private investor for a Kickstarted.
Yeah.
So maybe possibly Sony was the, private owner or whoever it was.
Yeah, exactly. So that's one of the main things when they had that Kickstarter or whatever that made like I always forget the number. It was like such a low number from like what they were asking for, and they just like turned it off because we got an investor, and it's just like how'd you get an investor for what? And they were always talking about the investor as like a really big investor.
And then just look at what they posted on the trailer. Like if you just have to see it on the PlayStation 5 because I feel like the Twitter does not make anything, like it does not compare to on the PlayStation 5. If you see it on the PlayStation 5 and then you tell me that they only have one investor for this game and then you see the quality and how it looks and all that, and
Yeah, if
for you to
nobody's
be an
seen that
indie
app,
and just one person.
that app is really, really nice for an indie little small developer like they're saying.
Ooh, I love that you guys even said that, right? So now check this out, right? Last time Kojima did this, he had to dumb down the quality so it looked like an indie studio was working on PT. It didn't look like they were using the same hardware and the technology that Kojima had access to. So they had to dumb it down, which he came out and said was openly hard to do, to make something less quality than what he's used to making. Now this time we're experiencing something similar to what happened with PT, right? A random studio working on a random game. But what happens this for a small studio, this game is on it looks great. Like from what you see, it looks like it's made well. It's not made by a small indie team making a 16-bit game.
I wanna touch upon what you said. What's interesting about that exact quote and like what he like that interview, I guess, or when he talked about it, he was talking about how like PT like they easily could have ran that game at 60 frames per second on PS4, but they just chose not to because they didn't want to make it seem like they like someone big was working on it. But it gets me so sad because like damn, this game could have ran at 60 frames. Like, can you update it? Like change it, please. It's like I wish, but yeah, it's just that's a good point for sure.
Yeah, it's just they're doing the opposite of what happened last time. Last time Kojima said he was upset at how quickly people found out that it was PT and that it was Kojima working on a PT game. Well, this time, at this point, a lot of the community doesn't even care if it's Kojima. They just want answers. They feel hopeless. They feel abandoned. Like they feel like they got scammed. You know what I'm saying? I love it. I mean, granted, don't get me wrong. I'm human too. I want an answer. You know what I'm saying? Like, please just tell me Silent Hill so I could feel better. But yeah, at the same time, I love it. I'm not mad that they're doing it. I hope that they drag it on as long as Kojima wants to drag it on. Because at the end of the day, if this game isn't Silent Hill and it's not connected to Kojima, the only people who got scammed was Blue Box Game Studios. Because people keep saying, oh, if their game isn't big, it's going to fail. No. You guys are completely overlooking the hype of the name that they're using to promote this game. If this game comes out and it's not Kojima, it doesn't even have to come out. If it's announced, right, and it's not Silent Hill, it's not Kojima, flop 100%. This game does not sell. Nobody plays.
I don't think it's gonna even release,
I
bro.
don't believe so. I mean, even if it doesn't release, right? But if this is like a real game, let's say it's a real game and it's not Kojima, it's no Silent Hill, no nothing. I feel like there are some people who will not be as mad as some people will be, which I think that will just come no matter what. But I do believe that there are people who are genuinely in love with like horror games that will give it a try.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
I personally, if it's a survival horror game, if it has nothing to do with Kojima or Silent Hill and it's a good survival horror game, I'm already interested just based off that. But I think
but these are conspiracies. Like, no one has said anything.
But I think we live in an age also where people like review bomb stuff. So I think if this comes out and it's not Kojima or Silent Hill, people are not gonna buy it and they're gonna review bomb it out of spite.
I'm gonna tell you straight up.
Even if they don't even see it or whatever.
Hearing Valeria say that makes me nervous to think that people would be crazy enough to do this nonsense. You know what I'm saying? So maybe I'm wrong, you know, but about like, because you said whether it's Silent Hill or not, people are going to buy the game, right? So,
yeah, but there are some people, there are some people who are in the conspiracy just for fun, for, hypeness of it. There's not people who take it too seriously. I myself wouldn't take it seriously. I don't care if there's like a game that like meant the world to me. If no one has told me anything and I'm here putting this all together myself with other people, and then the studio itself tells me, no, this is not it, I would say this is my own fault. You can clown me if you want, whatever, but if the game looks good and it's in my realm, I'll be like, okay, I'll give it a try.
I just want to throw this out there, just to say
and there's some
right?
people like that, okay?
And this ain't no emotion involved. Everything you just said right there makes absolutely no sense for business. You know what I'm saying? This ain't this is a business. Nevertheless, game.
I'm listen,
That
I'm not
it-
talking about business. I'm talking about
but-
you as a
but-
person who is doing this conspiracy. You as a consumer. You as a person like you, me, all of us here we're just talking about this, saying team real, team fake, when none of them have even made. This is not Team Jacob, Team Edward, Twilight shit that they have promoted out there. This is us doing it ourselves, you know.
I will.
So
I
it's
will
like I
say
would
though.
understand if it was different, like in that sense.
But I will say, man, the team Blue Box and Hassan, if this has nothing to do with them, with Kojima or Silent Hill or Metal Gear or anything at all, they know what they're doing. They know exactly. They're choosing to do this, and whatever fire flame they get with it, they earned it because they're messing around.
To the whole 7 people that will buy the game if it's not Silent Hill, right? I hope it's
I think it'll be
enjoyable
more
because
than 7.
I promise you right now that won't break the NPD list. I'll put money on it.
Listen.
Oh no, I mean I'm not saying it's gonna go #1 on like anything, or it's
it's
gonna be
not
the
gonna go
best-selling
nowhere.
like horror game. I know, but I'm just saying like there are some people who will buy it. I don't think it's gonna be a complete flop if it's something that's really really good. And like I said, we're bringing this all ourselves.
I just feel like people buy I Am Mayo, you know what I'm saying? People buy anything, but at the end of the day, this is business, and gaming is a business. It's an industry in the business world, right? And for us as content creators and gamers, we could be a lot more relaxed and loose with this. We can come up with the crazy conspiracies with this, but ultimately, what Blue Box Game Studios is doing is blatant. Like JT says, they know exactly what they're doing. So if they're choosing,
publicity is better than no publicity.
I agree with you. When you're a content creator, that can help your numbers. But when your bonuses and your salary and your life depends on sales of a game that you're working on, you don't take this route. You don't. It doesn't make any sense.
Look at what happened. Company. I don't think there's any bonuses.
That got hyped up to oblivion.
There's not going to be no bonuses if they don't sell.
Rick says, "I'll buy it." See,
I will too.
See, I'm telling you, there's people who will still buy it no matter what.
I'm gonna tell you guys right now, all 68 people right now watching can say they'll buy it. Yeah, that's not gonna do nothing for Blue Box Game Studios. I promise you, that game is not.
What are you guys even talking about right now? What are you guys saying? You're talking about like arguing.
Valeria said that whether it's Silent Hill or not, right? She thinks the game is gonna sell, and I'm saying I don't think so. That game.
Listen, I'll tell you this. I'll meet you in the middle. I'll say this game's gonna sell more than it would have if it didn't pull this stunt. If it isn't Kojima and everything, for sure this is gonna boost their sales, like at least. But I don't think I don't think they're releasing the game.
But then I could see it getting review bombed with everybody just mad because it isn't Silent Hill or Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah.
I don't think it's releasing. I'm sorry. I can't even think that far because I don't believe this is a real game. Sorry, I don't believe the studio's real. I don't believe it's a real game. That's why again I don't even like mess around with that idea because I don't even think it's literally impossible in my eyes. And the exact reason why I think it's impossible is because of their track record. This again, that information they dropped on that picture was stuff I already knew for a long time, and that's the exact reason why I thought it was fake. I was like, yeah, look at this studio. They've been doing fake things this entire time, you know. And my only question is how are they making money? Why are they doing this? And the only way I see that it's possible why they're doing it is because they're not real and someone else is orchestrating this whole thing. And, you know, just trying to build up some type of, like, thing behind it. And, like, just how, like, someone else said about the Moby Dick studio and then the 70, 80 studio, right? Those studios, the biggest problem, when you look them up, they were completely fake. There was, like, nothing you could see that they ever did or anything. So, like, it was so easy to find out, like, oh, yeah, this is just fake. You know, this is, like, a studio that doesn't do anything. They're brand new. It's, like, that makes no sense. And, again, it's been how long since, like, again, we'll say for the Metal Gear Solid stuff, like, nearly, like, 8 years, 9 years, or something like that. Like when they first started, like
when they teased it, yeah,
when they
been about 7 or 8 years.
Yeah, it was a long time when they were teasing that game. So, yeah, it's been a long time. I think Kojima understands, and I think he understands more than anybody these ARG stuff and understand how like to mess with people. And I mean, and at the end of the day, I really hope it is because that would make it be so much cooler because I just feel like that would be great for him himself, you know. Because it'll just prove that he understands what he's doing, and I just hope he does, and I think he does, because he's pretty smart, and we'll see. But I want to move on real quick because I want to talk about this interview, that they had with NME. I don't know what publication this is at all. All I know is that
it's a British magazine.
Okay, British magazine, awesome. So it says their headline is abandoned creator Hassan Karaman. He says it's not really a horror game. It's not what people think. And then you have this picture here. This picture looks like a thumbnail that I made or something. It's really interesting. But basically, it's like an interview with him, and he talks about a lot of stuff, talking about, about the game and basically saying the game's not even a horror game, which doesn't make any sense because that's what it says on the PlayStation blog. It's just more cryptic stuff and more just random things, more questions than answers that you get from this. Did anyone here read this thing?
I did.
I did. He said it's
Me
not
too.
a horror game, and then directly after that, in the same like paragraph, talks about how you have to survive, and your character has adrenaline, and if your character is scared or something like that, his aim will be shaky. None of it made sense. It's full of contradictions.
Yeah.
I think what he meant with that was, which, like I said, to me, that means it's a horror game, but he said, like, there were horror elements to it, but it's not a horror game. And to me, it's like...
Well,
Yeah.
I'll be fair, right? I don't think that, and I mean, listen, you know, you guys could completely fight me if you want, right? Because I know Little would definitely disagree with what I'm about to say, right?
Yeah.
I understand that a lot of video games that come out, there are true horror video games, but a lot of them aren't like pure straight horror. You know, they're more action, more gameplay. So when you really look at this, a lot of video games have horror elements to them. You know what I'm saying? So that statement right there is so pointless. It's not a horror game, or it is a horror game. You know, horror elements involved in your game means that it's a horror game. If Little Lamb's gonna scream when she plays it, it's a horror game. You know what I'm saying? It's just that simple.
You can go further on in the article too, because there's still more stuff where he says that the whoever gave the interview said that they spoke with Hassan and he gave them story details, but they don't give any story details in there. They talk about, oh yeah, we got deep plot details, and this is why it explains it has nothing to do with Silent Hill. But then
Yeah,
that's all they say.
Just everything that article says, right, is so broad and so pointless that it's just enough for people to go on Twitter and say, "See, I told you that wasn't real." It's literally, they don't tell you anything.
I want to touch up on something so specific. This quote that he has in the article here that I'm reading, because I read this whole thing, but I just like briefly read through it like earlier in the day, so I don't remember every little part of it. But I looked at this part and made me like, wow. So basically, this touches upon the fact that Hassan has never really spoke about who works there, and every single time it's a different answer. So now in the article he answers the question of like, oh, like who are the people, whatever, right? So he says the team members of Blue Box and also freelancers we work with don't feel comfortable to show their faces right now. He revealed it's not fun being labeled a scammer, right? So yeah, that's the reason why people don't feel comfortable right now showing their faces or even publicly announcing that they're involved with Abandon. Okay, this is my biggest issue with this, right? This exact question has been asked for this guy literally since like April. And he has, in the beginning, he was like, oh, we have over like 50 people on this project. It was huge, whatever. And then we talked to Jason Schreier. He's like, oh, this is me and my 10 friends. And then the rest of the people who work here are like Noir Studio and all these outsourcing studios. And then now he's saying, oh, the reason why you can't see them is because they're calling us scammers. It's like, this is a lot. Like, I'm telling you guys, 100% there's like something going on here. Like, this makes zero sense. It's always a different answer. It's wild.
Like I said, it would have made sense if this is the first time that they ever talked about it, and they were to say like, oh, like, you know, there's a reason why we're scared to show our faces because we're scared what people are gonna do. But like you said, they literally said so many answers to this that this one is just like a, okay, sure.
This article, when I read it, I thought it was hilarious because I was like, this looks like a fifth grader's article trying to convince their mom that they didn't steal $20 out of their wallet. Like, it's so like cookie cutter. It's disgusting. It's like everything we don't want to be labeled as scammers, right? You know what I'm saying? The whole thing is just so off. I'm telling you, when you read that article, it's so funny. And
was there ever a release date for Abandon? Because in the article they dated it for 2022.
Originally they said it was going to come out this year.
Yeah, sort of, something like that. It just
That's about as straightforward as I could give it to you, because what they've probably said word for word was absolutely nowhere near how I worded it.
Yeah, they said the update was coming on that Tuesday. Then they actually updated on Friday. The dude has a white fucking turtleneck to reveal this and delay this.
Iconic outfit.
It makes no sense. Like, it's all just random and all sounds like smoke and mirrors. You know, it's all just nothingness. And again, like I said, I just definitely feel like this is all leading up to something, and I definitely feel like that something may be Gamescom. Like, I'll be honest. After Gamescom, I will still have hope, right? After Gamescom, I'll still have hope because of the Game Awards. But after that, I don't know. You feel me? I don't know. But like, for sure, I feel like something on Gamescom is gonna happen. Supposedly, I guess I think in this article he mentions that they're not gonna go to Gamescom. Is that a thing? Right?
Yeah, he said that
they're not going to go to Gamescom, but they might have something afterwards.
Right after, yeah, because what he said was based on how the launch happened with the app on the 12th. Was it the 12th? Oh, the 10th that it was originally supposed to come out, and then it got delayed. Like, people were so upset. We don't want to say that we will be at Gamescom and give a specific date and not be able to live up to that date again because we don't want to disappoint people. He said, but we should have it soon after. Like, come on.
I don't know. That sounds like a deflection like crazy, bro. That sounds insane like a deflection. Like,
My
it just-
favorite quote from
Yeah.
this was that he can't sleep and he can't eat. That was my favorite quote.
He's depressed from all this.
Yeah. He's saying like, I'm really depressed right now. I can't sleep, can't eat. The biggest thing that's bugging me right now that people are labeling us as scammers. That is the big thing that really hurts me because that is not my intention at all. You know, it just
I
like
feel like he could have easily just proved that he's not a scammer. You know, he had so many chances to prove this.
they could make they could do so many things. The one thing that we're not following for is all the nonsense you've been doing and also little videos of you in a wall. Like, why don't you have the background be like the workers or something? Just anything. Like, show that you are real. Show some
That
type
shit.
of credentials.
That looks
in
like
some way.
propaganda. Like if Hideo
Computer,
Kojima is
at
forcing
least.
So what
that.
is he in just like a black room?
He's just in a
He's
corner.
in a white. He's like in a white wall, and he's just talking. It's like it sounds like Hideo Kojima's forcing this man to do propaganda. Like, hey guys, we're okay over here in Blue
And then-
Box Game Studios, please.
Listen, I you know, I'm not trying to go back to old like June stuff because I was sold on this like pretty easily in the beginning, and I kind of just like whatever. But I remember even like their tweets were coming out at like a time that just didn't make any sense for them. It kind of made sense for like Japan. Like that's still a thing people haven't even brought up ever again. Like there's just a lot of things that like so much. There's so much.
I just feel like again back at that time, right? I was Team Fake when you guys were looking at tweet time. I just feel like we've come so far, and we have so much like evidence that proves something weird is going on here that the time they tweet is so irrelevant now because everything else they've done still leads us here, which is this has to be if not Hideo Kojima, I'm telling you right now, there's something big behind this because there's no way that this is real. There's no way because when you look at the studio, people say it looks like a fake studio. Yeah, I mean that's literally the whole point of
That's the whole point.
If you look at the studio, right, and you say, oh yeah, that studio's fake, and then you say you're team fake, then you clearly either you're not paying attention, you don't know what's going on, or you're completely misunderstanding the whole point of this. If the studio isn't real, then it's Kojima. If the studio is real, then you're team fake. You know what I'm saying? You can't believe the studio's fake and then be team fake. That doesn't make any sense. Then what is this?
Yeah, exactly. That's my biggest thing about this, and this is what I talk about with the mainstream hopping on this. Is I truly don't feel that they understand the point of this. Like they don't get it. Like, bro, you guys are sitting here and be like, oh look, it's so fake. They know they never released a game. It's like, bro, that's the point. That's why we're saying.
Yeah.
That's the exact reason why we're saying this. Like,
Yeah, like
it's like,
why
congratulations.
That's why we're so hyped up. Yeah, thank you for joining the
Yeah,
team.
thanks for
Yeah.
proving the point. You know what I'm saying? What really got me mad, right, is when I started making these videos, it was like I started recently, right? But my first like 2 videos, there was a lot of abandoned people, but then it picked up like real big hype. Like not my video, but like the abandoned part of it picked up a big hype on the internet. And what really got me mad is when Xbox started coming into this. Like, bro, Xbox, go play Ascent on your Game Pass. You know what I'm saying? Go leave this to the real studios, to the real big boys. You know what I'm saying? Because when Xbox started getting in on this, like, oh, look at the Sony ponies crack. It's like, oh, yeah, this is really getting mainstream attention. Because guess what? We're doing this in between playing games. Xbox is playing nothing, and they're taking time to try to join in on this. Like, bro, this ain't coming to PC right now. You're not gonna play this on your Xbox. Just go about your day.
no, they were really mad because the app is exclusive to the PS5, and then like they're all just trying to get in on it. Like, everyone was pissed off because like, oh, this app is dropping. They're like, oh, I can't download it, and they just all were on people's chats and just putting clown emojis and all that stuff because they were just mad they couldn't even partake in what was going on. You know?
Nah,
That's really how
bro.
it
We're
was.
all
Why-
there watching at the same time though.
Yeah.
Why are they mad, bro? Psychonauts 2 is coming.
Hey, Psychonauts 2 looks a great game, bro. Stop this.
Yeah.
Hey, hold on, not that one. Hey, you could have said
Yeah.
something
Not
else.
that one. Leave Tim
Not
Schafer
that one.
alone.
Something else. What else they got? That's all they got.
I don't know. I said say something else than that.
Yeah, no, but I definitely noticed that for sure. All jokes aside with Xbox, I noticed that this picked up real big media attention. And again, if you're not gonna do research, you're not gonna look into it. It's just obviously this looks fake. But again, if you sit there and you think this is fake, then you have to be team real because either Abandon is gonna come out from Blue Box Game Studios and it's gonna flop and be whatever game is gonna be, or this is something else happening. So you can't be in the middle of that.
So we're gonna move on from this, but the one thing I really wanted this article to ask is about the text on top. Why is there a blurred text on top? No one asked him about the text. He only asked him about the guy with the eye patch in the back. and he has some like stupid answer for it. But like, what happened to the text on top?
Maybe he wasn't allowed to, or maybe they had to cut it off. You know.
I'll give you one better, right? With the kind of answers that they received from Hassan, really. I'm telling you, this article, I could have wrote this myself. Just sit down on the phone with you, Alberto, and wrote this myself and pretend like Hassan said that, because I could sit there and say, yo, JT's working on a game, but honestly, like, I can't tell you any of the details, but just know JT's working on a game. Like, it's just like they didn't say anything of value in this article. I'm telling you, everything that they said sounded like Hassan joined in on Crumb's side to just defend himself.
Oh, another thing, right, that you mentioned, the writing. He also stated that from now on they were not gonna blur stuff anymore because people got too hyped and like they got confused. But they're also not saying who the character is because they want to surprise people.
No, he said it's some generic character that he made with like Unreal 5 or something.
Yeah, he said like he used like it's like a meta-human or something like that. It's like, bro, hold up. So you want to blur the character out because you don't want people to figure out who it is. We don't know who it is. Like, no one knows who that is. Like, I don't understand. What's the surprise? I don't get it. Like, you could literally show us all every character model in the game. Show us all of them because it don't matter.
Exactly. They don't want people to confuse this character for someone else. So you know what? Let's blur him.
And make him look exactly like someone else.
Okay, so but we're gonna move on from this. But I wanna talk about one thing. I don't really have much evidence to show you. Like, I can if I look it up and I find it, whatever. But it's not really. I just want to bring it up because it's important. I don't know if you guys heard about this, right? But Cory Barlog has something to do with this very, very heavily. Okay, so understand this, right? Cory Barlog is a troll, 100%, right? But Cory Barlog, obviously the director of God of War, works for Sony and everything. He has had interest in making a Silent Hill game before. He has said this. He's like, I want to make one. He's like, Sony, let me make it. Like, he wanted to make it. He said this already. So there's that. That's one big thing, right? Okay. He also follows a Hassan Karaman on Instagram that's supposedly a fake account, right? And the craziest thing about this, right? And I knew about this like months ago. It was something basically like, if you look at when Hideo Kojima and him and Cory Barlog met like a year ago or something like that, that was the same time where he met Hassan also. And that's where he started following him or whatever. But that account supposedly has been said that it's fake. Like, Blue Box has like stated that it's fake. Or
is it a private account?
I honestly don't remember, but I remember it was like something like that. But all I know, Cory Barlog 100%, I feel like has something to do with this, and he's.
You're talking about, man. I can verify what you're saying, man. I can't look it up myself because I think I took a screenshot somewhere, but 100% you're
know what I'm talking
right.
About, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, that I'm telling you, that's a really big thing that not much people talk about too much because I feel like it's very like a deep cut thing, but it's like a timeline thing. If you go and you really look it up.
Doesn't like everybody who works for Sony Santa Monica, they all follow 666 people, even Alana Pierce, like all of them?
All of them follow all of them? Yeah. Okay. Do they? See,
yeah.
Bro.
If you go look at I don't know about every single person that works for the studio, you know what I'm saying? But if you look at Cory Barlog, you look at Alana Pierce, they all follow 666 people, which, what is that number? Evil, demonic? What would that have to be with? I don't know, a horror game?
Now, are you going to tell me that Alana's involved in this?
Yeah, she works there.
She works for Sony Santa Monica.
No, I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like, you're going to tell me that she got in the project to write on it?
If she works for them and they're working on them, then yeah, I would assume she would be working on it.
I think that would make more sense. Like, Kojima's just trolling, like him saying, like, yeah, it's me, but then it's not.
What do you mean?
Like, it's Cory doing everything. He's just there, like, playing the strings.
The illest okey doke.
But yeah, so I just find it crazy, and also his I remember he changed his bio to be that weird cryptic thing that it is right now during this whole thing. So it's like a Morse code. He has like a Morse code on his like bio. And yeah, so yeah, there's a lot of stuff, man. There's a lot of stuff. There's the thing also that Hideo Kojima posted, like that book, that comic book or whatever, that was like basically Silent Hill 3. It was like the abandoned like amusement park, and there was like the bunny, like pink bunny or whatever. And it's just a lot of it's just like, why did that happen? Why did Norman Reedus post a picture with the bunny? Like, there's just so much things that shows it. And I'll be honest, I'm sorry. I might sound crazy. I might sound like cold for saying it, but I 100% believe it's real. I don't really care what Hassan says in this article. This is all, I feel like, just deflection and just something to say because they want to, do that. So
I will say something though. Triz just said, I don't know if this is real or not, but they said that Alana said a year ago that she heard Silent Hill is being made and it'll
Oh,
have an app
yes.
check on YouTube a year ago.
Yes. No, I watched that video live like months ago with the people.
Was
And
this was this before she worked for Sony Film?
I like
yeah,
when
this
nerds
was
said
right.
hold
I
on.
think she didn't. I don't know if she worked there yet. I don't know. But she for sure been
It was
talking.
before.
If
It
it's
was before.
then that fits in with the timeline because
It was before, yeah.
now if this all fits in with that, now
Yeah.
she's working for them and she can't say anything about it at all.
Yes, yes, yes. And that's the thing, yes. So she has talked about it. She herself said, she was talking about like Hideo, she was specifically talking about Hideo Kojima and specifically talking about Silent Hill. So she was talking about Silent Hill, but she was talking about it being made by Kojima himself. And she was talking about how what she knows is that the game's supposed to be a game that haunts you in real life. That it wants to be a thing where it's not a game. You don't really play it. Like they want to have an aspect of the game that follows you in real life and haunts you in your real life day to day. And this is again a person who works for Sony and follows 666 people, just like Cory Barlog. It's like, bro, nah, bro. I'm telling you, this is all planned out. Shuhei Yoshida, same thing. He replied to someone just saying to somebody, same thing that everyone has done. And they've been all doing the same thing. It's just like, guys, there's just no way.
And
that
Cedric
this
says that Blue Box follows her. Apparently.
They do? They do? Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
And again, it's just listen. Somebody came in the comments and said, Coop said, you sound crazy.
It's
and it's
Coop.
like, yeah, it's Coop. But still, it's like Coop said, you sound crazy, right? And it's like, honestly, yes, that's literally the point, right? All this sounds insane. None of it when Rockstar's gonna release their next game, right? Or the next God of War comes out, Call of Duty Vanguard comes out. None of these games have anything like this. All those are just normal releases. They get a trailer, they go. Why would this game be any different? Because it sounds crazy, because it is, because it's all fake. I'm telling you, all the studio's fake. Somebody's pulling the strings in the back, and it's making people sound crazy. Look at what you said. They want to do something that will follow you into real life. I even had people tell me that looking up the conspiracies affects their mental health, and like they can't sleep as well anymore. And it's like this is following people into their real life and haunting them. Like, what is this? Is this Silent Hill? Is
They're
this
becoming
not?
Hassan at this point.
It literally is taking people. So it's really a thing where it's like, honestly, this sounds exactly like everything that people said it was going to be before this became a conspiracy. Not only that, right? But
yeah.
Jeff Keighley came out and said that there are going to be a few reboots for a bunch of old IPs. And when they asked him about Silent Hill, he said he couldn't confirm any.
Wait, what did you say right there at the ending?
I believe they asked him at the end, like, was Silent Hill one of them or something like that, and I think he said he couldn't confirm any of the titles that were coming up. But he said multiple old IPs are making a comeback.
Interesting. Let me do something here.
Chris just said, if you step back and look at all the coincidences, it sounds crazy to think it's not a conspiracy. Which is true.
You guys big over here.
What are you trying to do?
No.
Are you trying to get us to see the?
I wanted you guys
video?
to watch this with me, but yeah, it's not gonna work because I have to switch all the windows again.
You could just send the link. Just try to watch it at the same time.
I'll send you guys a link so you guys can look at that. It's important to you guys to see this because I do think this is very important. Again, I watch this on stream with people because, yeah, it was just definitely very important.
And it's crazy, right? Because I feel like these are like the Corey thing, Alana, and all these things with Santa Monica. Like no one really ever, at least from the people I've seen, truly bring it up as much as other.
This was made on May 18th, 2020.
Update about how Silent Hills basically brought on a prominent Japanese horror artist who posted something at Konami in an Instagram story where they also posted something to do with Silent Hills. This is a pretty big deal. It says, as spotted on Resetter or Reset Era, I still don't know how to say it, the artist shared an intriguing pair of images on his Instagram account along with the caption, afternoon invitations, hope you'll join. But yeah, this has been, a rumored thing for a fair amount this year, which obviously for anyone who doesn't know, when Kojima left Konami, basically the idea of Silent Hills existing fell apart. So,
I'm gonna be honest with everybody. I don't know how to click on that thing you just sent me, so I'm just gonna take your word for it.
Oh wait, what? It didn't work?
No, man, I don't know how to do it.
Oh wait, did it send?
Yeah, send. It's on the
Yeah,
on the share button podcast part. You just gotta click on it and then open the link.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I'm not watching it either because I'm telling you right now, I don't need no proof to prove that this is real. Yeah. I'm here for this. This is real. I promise.
Wait, let me just play this one part because everyone can hear what I'm watching right now. I'm just gonna let them play this. She's about to say it right now. I just want them to hear it real quick.
Hills would kind of interact with you in the real world. Of course, through development, all of these things could change. They could have like scrapped this idea entirely because it's very complicated. I'm also not 100% confident in my source, and I did say that when I tweeted anything about this, but some outlets decided to run with it anyway. It's not that that source doesn't have that information, it's that I suspect that that source has lied about a few things to seem like an interesting person, which is a whole other thing. So basically, it was that you would have to sign a disclosure, an agreement, when even beginning to play the game, which, you know, some games do anyway. They make you accept something before you're actually able to play the game. But with Silent Hill specifically, it was because it would interact with you outside of the game, even when you weren't actually playing the game. It would do things like potentially send you text messages, send you emails. There was an idea that was floated that I'm not sure how solidified it was, that for anyone who has smart lighting, if you paired it basically with certain apps, that it might be able to flick your lights in different colors or play with your lighting while you were playing the game to add extra atmosphere, which I absolutely love the idea of happening anyway. I would love it if games would do that. But contact from potentially even social media, they would have conversations with you or potentially like just threaten you in strange ways. I feel like this is a legal nightmare, no matter what.
So yeah, I don't know if you guys are hearing in the stream. Like that's the best place where you guys should have like heard that.
Amazing.
But
Yeah.
you guys, yes. You feel me? What she's saying? She's talking about like, oh, it's supposed to text you. It's supposed to like infiltrate your social media. It's like, bro, what is exactly happening right now? Like, is this on everyone's feeds? This is all everyone could care about is abandoned PS5. So I don't know. I know she's saying like, oh, her source wasn't whatever. But again, this is a long time ago. She didn't work at Sony yet and everything. So I
They
don't
didn't have
know.
to sign that NDA yet.
No, she didn't sign the NDA yet at all. So I don't know, guys. Are we
And let me-
I
crazy?
mean,
me
if
just
this
say-
is exactly how the game is, this will be completely amazing and completely something.
So I want to ask you, but real quick, little. I want to ask you from because I know
But I would not do that shit.
You're kind of
because I would
iffy.
die.
You're kind of iffy, but like, from what she was talking about, would you feel any of that stuff? Feeling like that might be real? Like, do you see any parallels with what she was talking about with what's going on, kind of?
Kinda. I never said I was iffy. I don't want to say I'm neutral in it because I do believe it's not like real, like the company itself. But you guys just won't see me making no YouTube videos about it. That's all I'm saying.
All right, what do you guys think about it?
I'm saying though that if this was like a real game, I would, you know me.
Yeah, we know you're not
Okay.
gonna play. We know you're not gonna play.
Yeah, I think that, you know, everything she said is interesting, right? Obviously, that sounds more like, you know, the whole pairing it with your smart lights to flicker, sending you text messages, emails. Obviously, that sounds like a really cool idea that would be, in my opinion, almost impossible to implement. But again, the point here is Alana Pierce was talking about a Silent Hill coming out, and for anybody who lives under a rock that doesn't know who Alana Pierce is, she used to work she was the face of IGN at one point. If anybody has insiders in the industry, it would be her. At that time, she's not speaking as a Sony employee. She's as a fan at that point, because I'm almost positive she was working for Funhouse. So it's one of those things where it's like, why would Alana Pierce go out of the way to say this? And again, even going back, people in previous years have talked about Silent Hill making a comeback. It just, all those people are completely silent now that this whole conspiracy is going on. And that's not an accident.
Yeah, JT, any thoughts on what she was saying in that video? I don't know if you heard her talking what she was saying at all.
I did. I heard it. I mean, everything she said sounds good. And like someone, Joe Dubs 35 in the comments, he said, my only worry is if this is real, if this really is Silent Hill, it better be a banger because the last couple of games were not great. And I would say, if what she's saying sounds like the direction they have to take it, because I'm hyped that if this is Silent Hill, it's coming back. But the last like 3 Silent Hill games were not good at all. They were kind of terrible. So if this is Silent Hill, it has to be something like what she's talking about. They're gonna have to blow this out of the water and do something extreme to make the name to bring it back. Because right now, everybody's thirsty for Silent Hill just off nostalgia. Because when the last 3 games came out, nobody was playing them. They were bad.
Yeah, I would like to say, overall, the Silent Hill series, I looked this up, the Silent Hill series has sold 9 million units as of December 2018. So it's probably more now, possibly. But remember, a new game hasn't came out in like forever. So, yeah, so like the series could definitely use some help. You know, it could definitely use some help. And I will say the reason why people are even talking about this is because the possibility of Sony being a part of it. So like, I think that's probably big enough of a thing that can make this game like really, or like this franchise really come back in the forefront very heavily. So
Honestly, real quick, Gone Hunter says, but Silent Hill's PT was fire. And I think that that's true. If you look at PT, I think that demo was great. And if that's the direction they were going to go with Silent Hill, I think they were going a good direction with it. And JT, I agree with you. Especially me, I'm a younger person.
I say that not including PT because PT.
Yeah. You're talking about the actual releases.
Yeah, that was a good game, yeah.
Before PT, the last Silent Hill game released was a multiplayer PSP game. You know what I mean?
PS Vita. It was like a dungeon. It was like Diablo. It's actually pretty fun.
I will say, like me myself, I was too young to really pay attention to the good Silent Hills. So for me, my Silent Hill is what you're saying, the games that aren't that good. But if this is co-signed by Sony, Sony's not known for really putting out bad titles, with a few exceptions recently. So I think Sony being behind it is enough to be like, hey, listen, this is Silent Hill's best chance at doing something big.
I
can tell real fast. I can tell you, man, from someone who was there, I got Silent Hill probably the week it came out. Played it with I was too scared to play it, so I had to watch my older brother play it when I was in like 6th or 5th grade. Scared the shit out of me, man. It's one of the most scariest experiences I've ever had. Video gaming, period. So I mean, if that's the feeling they're going for, that's really what it needs to be, man. It needs to be something terrifying, and it can't just be like they can't just copy Resident Evil. They got to do they got to do what Alana Pierce is talking. They got to do something different.
Resident Evil's on point right now.
Because even like I agree with JT. Like, okay, Resident Evil when I was a kid, okay, that was scary for sure, but Silent Hill was like, don't even like bring that shit. Like, I would not even want to look at that. Like, that was the most scariest looking thing of all time. It was just all dark and like foggy and stuff. Like, the game was a lot more scarier to me. I don't know, but
when I agree with you. When I was a kid, Resident Evil I thought was scary, right? But even still, when I saw Resident Evil, obviously, like when Resident Evil 1 came out, like I was like 2 years old or something like that. But as like the older ones came out, like Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil 5. Going back and looking at the older Resident Evils, I was like, I could see where these would be scary, but they definitely, that goes back to like that Hassan thing. Like, I feel like those games had horror aspects to it, and the scariest part was that they were survival games that you couldn't just shoot your way through, right? But when I used to look at Silent Hill, the aesthetic of Silent Hill, the theme, the color grading, everything about it was scary to me. I thought that game was terrifying.
Silent Hill's special, man. Silent Hill's something special, and I mean, I take this. Aunt knows me. I'm completely desensitized to horror because I love horror movies. I love Resident Evil so much. My kids are named after Resident Evil characters. You know what I'm saying? So I like Resident Evil that much. Silent Hill is something special. When they do it right, the atmosphere, what you're going for, it's Resident Evil. They go for like jump scares. Silent Hill, they want you to feel dread. They want you to feel like a sense of dread around you, rather than just being like having something jump out and scare you, and then you just it's a jump scare for like 5 seconds.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. I'm gonna ask you guys one last question because I keep saying this, but we have to move on to the next topics for sure because there's a lot of other things to talk about. But I want to real quick just ask the last question on this. What are the possibilities to you guys that Santa Monica Studios is working on this game? Because they're working on another game, but no one knows what it is. Does anyone believe it could be possible?
I love that question, right? Because if you really look at the history of Sony Santa Monica, obviously they make their own games, right? But they're also known for going outsourcing and helping other studios make games, right? So I don't think it would be weird if Sony Santa Monica was actually helping this game work or be made. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that would be weird at all.
I mean, would you think it's what would you think they would be making a game like this, like Silent Hill?
Yeah, because it's like you said, Cory Barlog came out and said he would like to make the next Silent Hill. So we know he has the interest in it. So and I'm gonna tell you right now, with this whole Blue Box Game Studios, everything that we know, that would be the least craziest thing that Cory Barlog would like to work on this and actually be able to do it.
And I want to also add something else because I watch a lot of Alana Pierce's stuff. She says herself like her favorite genre of video games is horror games. So, and she's like super excited about what she's working on at Sony Santa Monica. She keeps talking about like it's like amazing. She's like really happy about it. So it's like I feel like they might be making a horror game, honestly.
Yeah, because think about it, right? The 666 that they all follow. What connection does that have to their biggest title, which is God of War? Literally nothing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So when you look at it, Alana Pierce loves horror games. That's like her genre, right? Cory Barlog wants to work on Silent Hill. They all follow 666 followers, which is a evil number. It's come on, you know what I'm saying? Like, we go back to the same thing. This all sounds crazy because it is crazy, and it's exactly what is happening. It's just hard. It's hard to think that that's what it is, but I'm telling you right now, I'm 100% Team Real. As a matter of fact, I want all my Team Reals to drop a hashtag Team Real in the comments for me. You know what I'm saying?
That was weak.
Wait till you see all my Team Reals, bro. That it can't be weak. My man's is
here.
here.
You gotta do it better.
I got you. I need all my Team Reals to go onto to my comments and put hashtag Team Real because we're Team Real. That's what this podcast is. Team Real. Even
Hashtag
Valeria.
Team Real. Let's go. Hashtag Team Real. Let's get it. But yeah. So JT, any
I
thoughts
will
on that?
say,
Okay.
hold on, I want to say something before because this man just said even me, sir, you were like team a fake, like
Uh-oh,
what?
don't bring it up. Don't bring it up.
At that point, I literally even myself was with Berto here, and I was telling you like, hey, this is real, this is this, and you were telling us, and now you want to try to make it like I was never that. Okay.
Look. We can't live in the past. That was 8 weeks ago. I wasn't team fake. I was team maybe, right? I was 50-50. I did say that if you go look at the podcast, I was 50-50.
Yeah.
What I will say is you showed a little bit of skepticism today. You know what I'm saying? You showed a little bit.
All I'm saying is, all I said was that if this is real, and I just said, let me bring the other side. And what I said was, if this is real, that people will still buy it. That's all I was saying.
Okay. I want to. Joe Dubs in the chat says hashtag Team Clown. So go ahead.
And I don't know if that is too.
Hey, I'll tell you the cold hard truth, right? We'll see if that hashtag Team Clown ages well because a lot of you dudes capping that this is fake is gonna feel really dumb when it comes out in Silent Hill. I promise you could clip that one.
Yup. Okay. I would love to see a Santa Monica studio and Corey did say he would love to make a Silent Hill game before the abandoned stuff happened. See? Yes, exactly. I'm telling you guys, he did show interest in this, so I know he'll definitely want to work on this.
IDK said it's Team Clown or Team Scam. Get with the times. If you are thinking about Team
I
Scam,
don't know.
if you think that Team
Hey, Harvey
Scam is
Ross,
real,
let's go.
hey, I'll tell you straight up, right? If you think that Team Scam is real, then you are Team Clown.
Yay. Uh-oh. He's bringing the heat in the chat. Don't do that. Nah, man. I don't know. I still think this is real.
They evolved.
I still think it's real. Team Clown is Team Real now, bro. We've hashtag evolved.
I can't lie. That one made me laugh. I like that one. You know what I'm saying? If that's the case, go ahead and drop a hashtag Team Clown for me for the Team Reels. You know what I'm saying?
That's our new logo. Our new flag is the clown emoji. All right, go ahead. Let's go.
Clown stickers everywhere.
I just want to tell this to the chat, right? To everybody watching. This is why I love this topic, right? I love that people don't believe it. I love that people think it's a scam. I love that people can't get off the high horse that it is real. It's so cool. There's not too many conversations, too many topics that keep bringing people out week after week fighting so hard. I love this.
Yeah. But I guess we'll move on. I know this is what everyone wants to talk about, and I could talk about it forever. But we'll give some love. You guys keep talking about it. We'll keep talking about it. Just keep feeding them some stuff, and we'll say things about it. But we'll try to talk about these other topics as we go on here. So the first thing we'll be talking about is Dead by Daylight. Dead by Daylight has some news.
Bad
big
news, too.
Big news. Good news and bad news. We'll start
Good
with
and bad, yep.
We'll start with the good news.
Should we though? Should we start with the sad so then we can just get over the sadness and then be happy?
I just feel there's
because
more
of
to
the good
talk
news?
about when it comes to that. So I just want to
True.
talk. I just want to. Well, let me. Oh, I had it right there and I took it out. Dead by Daylight. Okay.
Then never mind.
All right. Well, I'll put the gameplay on the screen because apparently there's gameplay. So
And you should put the teaser too.
that's what I was trying to find, but I'll just put the gameplay. But basically, Hellraiser, Pinhead, he's gonna be in Dead by Daylight, which is weird and cool and crazy and like really
Very interesting.
That's weird that Pinhead's even coming back because I mean, yeah, that's such a niche underground horror villain. And I mean, Pinhead used to scare the hell out of me when I was a kid. I think he looks cool. It's so weird that he's even brought back popular right now.
Yeah.
I don't think that anybody should be excited about anything being added to this game right now because clearly licensing issues is an issue. So right now,
we'll get to that.
it's just I can't be happy about that because we're gonna go and spend money on this and it might be taken off the store like 19 days after you buy it. So,
But hold on, there's a fair thing to that one, okay?
Well, okay.
We'll talk about it
we'll
later.
mix both stories. We'll say what's going on. So
Okay.
basically, Hellraiser is gonna be collaborating with Dead by Daylight. Obviously, we can see on the screen right now they're gonna add Pinhead as an actual character. So there's that. I don't really know who else is gonna be added. I don't know if any characters are gonna be added, like a survivor. I'm pretty sure maybe there will be, and maybe a map. I'm not really sure. I just know the killers are gonna be added to the game. So there's that. And then the other big news is that the Stranger Things pack is basically being removed from the game, not fully, but just the map, and also they're just not gonna be able. You're not gonna be able to purchase it like in what is it? November?
Yep.
So
November 17th,
yeah.
I believe.
November 17th is the last day you could buy it. So, yeah. So those are the two news topics. So we'll just talk about them within this. So
I love that, like, the community of Dead by Daylight is trying to damage control so hard for it that they're like, well, honestly, we didn't even like the Stranger Things map that much. Like, yeah, that's the problem. Listen,
no.
I'm a Dead by Daylight fan. I play that game a lot with Alberto, but licensing things in video games has proven to be an issue. Through all of time, it's been a problem with Scott Pilgrim versus the World. I mean, you can go back as far as people use this license things, and you can see that it always becomes a problem at the end. I will say, Dead by Daylight has a problem because a lot of their stuff are licensed. You know what I'm saying? So when you look at that, it sucks that Stranger Things was such a big thing for them, because that's such a popular show. Now it's taken out. A lot of people got into Dead by Daylight because of Stranger Things, and now they're losing this. It's just, again, I hear that Hellraiser's coming. I think that's cool. It's like JT said, when I was a little kid, that freaking guy used to scare the hell out of me, like, big time. I was like, that's so scary. But I can't genuinely sit here on the podcast and pretend like I'm super hyped for that, because even though I don't think they're going to have any problems with that license, it doesn't mean that they can't. So I can't be excited for that.
Yeah, I agree. I that's my same thing is, like, because the whole licensing thing is a big issue. Because I thought the same exact thing, right? Because what the craziest thing is this, right? With licensing, if a license, like an IP like this, is active, there really shouldn't be issues, right? Because it's an active license, there's new things being made, that there really shouldn't be anything. When IPs are not being used, like Friday the 13th when it wasn't really being used, and anything like Scott Pilgrim and all that stuff, like when they're not an active thing that's just like happening all the time, like things are coming out for it, you could run into a lot of problems because people want to sell things or whatever. But when you're actively making new seasons of Stranger Things, it's very strange that, like, that this would happen. But with Hellraiser, I know Hellraiser is in a good spot too. Like, there's been a new Hellraiser movie like a few years ago. Like, Hellraiser is still being made like every other year for some reason. So
the only reason I'm gonna tell you, man, the only reason why they make the Hellraiser movies is so that I think it's New Dimensions or whatever's the company that owns them, they do it specifically so that they can hold on to the rights. So no matter how bad the movies are, they have to make a movie.
Yeah, but see what I'm saying? At least they're like, you could tell that they're at least, they're using it. They're not letting it go to waste, right? So I was just so confused in my own head. I'm just like, I don't really know what to think about it, They're announcing that characters are being taken away because of license issues, but then they go back and announce a licensed character, which is like, I don't know, it's weird.
Listen, all I will say is Dead by Daylight has been like going on since when? Years now at this point.
2016,
and look until now that they have such a big problem. So to me, it's like they are lucky, in my opinion, that they have a lot of different licenses, because that is what helps them. That's why Friday the 13th had that issue with it. It couldn't grow because that was the only thing that they focused on. And at least this game has different stuff. They have original stuff. So even then, if by any chance they lose all the licensing, I think people would still stay because they are able to create their own monsters and characters and keep them fun. And like Coop say, I honestly have the Stranger Things pack. I hate indoor maps in Dead by Daylight, and this was one of like the worst ones for me for sure too. So I can agree there. And I will say it makes me happy that you're still, to an extent, if you have this, you will keep Nancy, you will keep Steve, and you will keep perks and other stuff that were available with this. So it's not like you are completely losing everything, So to me, it's not that bad. Like, I feel like it could have been definitely worse.
Are they going to compensate people who bought the map and they took the map from?
Absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely
not.
I don't play Dead by Daylight. I think it's cool that they got all the characters. I'm indifferent to it either way. The only comparison I can give this to, can you imagine if, say, Smash, they lost the licensing right to like Bayonetta or something like that, and they just removed her from the game? Can you imagine the uproar people would have? I would be pissed off.
I think I agree with Valeria until a certain point. I don't think this is going to kill the game. I don't think it's the worst thing in the game ever. The only problem that I have is that, again, people paid money for this. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's people who got into Dead by Daylight specifically for Stranger Things, and even
I agree.
even though I agree with Coops, right? I hated the Stranger Things map. Oh my gosh, it was horrible, right? It was not the most fun map to be on, but it still sucks to see it go. You know what I'm saying? Because I know like for you, Valeria, like I know you spend money on it, right? And it's like fuck, that sucks, man. And then
but
it's
I'm
like
literally telling you right now, I spent money on that pack. I would be pissed if you were to tell me I cannot play my characters. Because I think to me, the characters and the perks are more important than a map. I'm sorry.
Didn't they take out the killer?
Look at it this way.
No.
If nobody
killer's still gonna be there too. You're getting the killer.
Hold on,
Everyone's gonna
look
be
at it
there.
this way. If they take away the map from you right now and everybody just says, "Oh, brushes off," and it's okay. What if they do this further down the line and then they take away a map and then a character, and then a year later now they take away a map and then 2 characters
because honestly, right, JT, you're right. It's just a thing where it's like, obviously, Valeria, like you won't have an answer for what he's saying, but it's a thing of like. There is no right answer there. It's like if they just go and they get away with it, they keep taking off people. There's nothing we could really do, right? But yeah, I agree with you, JT. It's like it sucks to know that this game is so dependent on licensing that if they lose all the licenses, like Valeria said, it's just you're really left there with like nothing.
And I
highly disagree with that. Highly disagree with what Ant just said.
I doubt that would ever happen.
Highly. Somebody complaining about a problem, and I have no solution to it at all. So
I highly disagree with Ant. Highly disagree.
That's okay, right? Because I'm gonna tell you the truth, right? You're a Dead by Daylight fan, so you're a fan of this game, of the core of the game. But I'm telling you right now, a lot of people get into Dead by Daylight because of licensing. If they lose the licenses that they like, they leave. It's that simple. Nobody has super ties to Dead by Daylight.
No, but the thing is, so this is my thing about that, right? That statement, because they could have easily leaned heavily on the IPs. But the best thing that they did, the smartest thing they've done, is that they never gave up on their own characters. They always release new stuff of their own original stuff. And they keep doing it. I would have thought they would have stopped doing that, but they announced like more like original stuff than they announced like licensed things, which is really good. So I don't know. I highly disagree with that. So like.
And to me, if you were to tell me that you're playing Dead by Daylight just for Stranger Things, then it's just like, what are you even doing playing this game? To me,
but that's not fair. That's not fair because Stranger Things literally got a whole wave of people in.
I'm not saying that it didn't get a lot of people in, but once you get in, you don't just stay for Stranger Things at that point. If you play this game, you're going to move from different characters. You're going to be tired of just playing Nancy or Steve. You're going to go to the original characters. You're going to develop. You're going to do perks and stuff. There's a lot of characters in that game. You can't just rely on because Stranger Things, I'm only going to play Stranger Things. People don't do that.
If I get into a game, right, because of a licensed product that I enjoy, a licensed series that I enjoy, and then they take out the licensed series, you're assuming that people are getting connected to the game and having a connection to the game and move past the Silent Hill. Silent Hills didn't even release that long. I mean, Silent Hill, sorry. Stranger Things didn't even release that long ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is still new content.
Yeah, it is pretty new content for sure, but it's just a thing where it's like, at the end of the day, no one could do anything about it. Like, what can you do about it? Also, like, it's just a weird situation.
They had a best case scenario, in my opinion.
Yeah, they did. To be able to keep it, at least, like to keep it in the game, that's cool. You know, at least it exists and it's in the game still. Yeah, it sucks that they're not going to sell it anymore. That's why I don't really feel like they need to issue refunds, because there's no refunds to issue, because the map was always free. No one paid for the map. Anyone who played the game
could play the map. I could literally play the Raccoon City police station. I could play that.
Yeah, you don't have to
I changed what I said then. I didn't know the map was free. I didn't even play
it. All the maps are free.
But like, you can just play. I mean, it comes with the pack, obviously, still, but like anyone can play it.
No, it doesn't come with the pack. It's just a part of the game. The game.
Yeah, the pack brings the characters.
I thought it came also with the pack as well, like as a.
No, it just it's added to the game.
I don't think they're just taking away the map.
Yeah, I played all those maps and I haven't bought anything.
Anything that you buy from the game, you're keeping. So if you buy the pack, which comes with 2 characters and then 1 killer, you keep them. They don't take it away. Nothing gets taken away. It's just that there's going to be a point where no one else could buy it. It's going to be like exclusive. It's like, okay, well, if you didn't buy it now, you can't buy it. It's like just like how
I will say they're giving you time, though, too, because you have until, what, November? So you have like 2 months to buy this. And they're also going to do it for 50% off. So you're not paying full price for this. Like, they're giving you discounts. There's a sale for it.
I will say, right, real quick, IDK says, does it have crossplay? Yes. And he said, never plays on Game Pass. I definitely think it's worth playing. And I don't think that there's any problem really right now. I just think it's a scary thing to experience in a game that's heavily licensed.
Yeah, but again, like I said, if it's going to happen like this, well, it's gonna happen like this. You know what I mean? Where like it's the best case scenario. You know, like okay, they have to remove the map because the map is something that they have to keep updating, and by the law of how copyright works, you can't alter things like that. So it's a live thing. Okay, take it out. But everyone else that's already there, your characters that you paid for and everything, you get to keep. Everything's fine. Okay, well that's not that bad. You know, it's like if I bought Michael Myers and like or any of these characters and I just have them and like you just can't buy it anymore because there was an issue that Dead by Daylight couldn't control. It was by the license holder, by Universal or whatever. So, yeah, I don't know. I just feel like it's not really it sucks. It definitely is a big deal. It sucks, but it's not something that I could be like very mad at them. The only people I get mad at is Netflix because they're the ones who obviously have a problem with this. Yeah, like why are you doing this? This is really stupid.
Yeah, 100%. This is not the developer's fault, like at all. You know what I'm saying? That again, it's just the complications that come with licensing issues. But I still think the game I love that game. I think it's so much fun. I try to get JT to play it all the time because it's a horror game. It has Resident Evil in it. It's like literally everything you could ever want. Pinhead's in it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like but like I said, it sucks. You know, even though I didn't like the map, I'm sure there's people out there that love the map. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it sucks to see it go. To whom it may concern.
To whom it may concern. But I will say that their original stuff, especially the recent stuff that they had, it stands on its own with the licensed characters, in my opinion.
Honestly, I'll be real with you. I'll be real with you as a person who I don't keep up with that game like at all. Besides playing it, right? I don't, and I started playing it. Good lord, like last year. So I mean, at this point, things were out, right? I can't even really distinguish. Besides like the major ones, I can't really distinguish the packs from the ones that they released, like the killers. Obviously, I know like the original killer and stuff like that. I know a few of them, but most of them like they're so well made that you can't tell the difference between the licensing ones and their killers and their maps too. Their maps are really well made.
Yeah. So I will say too, like of the like packs to get lost, I understand Stranger Things isn't like probably the most famous one, but it's the one that's like, oh, yeah, okay, like so what? Like that Stranger Things is barely a horror genre, a horror franchise, anyways. So like, I honestly don't care that much. Like I'm just like the map was stupid. The Demogorgon is a stupid monster too. Like I don't like that character at all. I don't think it's a scary monster. Again, I don't think Stranger Things is a horror franchise. It's just like a ET thing. Like it's not scary at all. So
hold on.
I'm good with this being gone. Like I genuinely just don't really care that much. It's like whatever. But Ghostface, Michael Myers, Leatherface, Pinhead, all these people, they're all in the game and no one's touching
Pyramid
them.
Head.
Pyramid Head, yeah. Like there's so many good people. Nemesis, like there's so much good people in this game. So like I can't be mad that Demogorgon's map is gone, which was one of the stupidest maps I've ever played in my life. Like that map sucks.
Nah, I hate that map. But yeah, I do agree with you. Again, you're taking the violent stance. You know what I'm saying? You're taking the violent stance. But it sucks. But you're right. At the end of the day, the map's trash. So, you know, if you're upset, I guess either play a different map or don't play Dead by Daylight. You know, you'll be all right.
I don't think that would happen.
So we'll move on to the next thing. What's the next thing we got here? So, I wrote it here, but it's not really like a big topic. Phil Spencer basically was talking about the Steam Deck. And, yeah, got people excited to thinking that, you know, Xbox might be involved with you know, what can happen with Xbox games on Steam Deck, because he said he played Xbox games and they run great. So there you go.
I'll tell you this. The Steam Deck, again, is a PC. It's a portable PC. You can most definitely play Xbox games on it. Xbox games are on Steam. You can play PlayStation games on it too, for the ones that are on Steam. This guy has a Switch in the background, you know. It's just, honestly, my problem is that Microsoft gives, right? And they don't ever like really receive anything in return from any of these people. They give games to Valve, right? They sell their games on Steam. They had a partnership kind of with Nintendo where they released some of their games on Nintendo consoles, like Super Lucky Tale and stuff like that. I don't think it's anything to read into more than this guy. He just
the library there.
They're literally Microsoft literally is computer. So it's like, again, I don't really think it's anything too much to read into, but the Steam Deck itself is dope, so I'm hyped for it.
I don't think it's weird that he gets it like as an early edition as well either. Like to me, it makes sense.
Wasn't it more than just him? I saw a couple of people had it and tested it out, right?
Yeah, like even YouTubers have had it and shit. So it's like, again, I don't think it's really too crazy, but nevertheless, you can most definitely play Xbox games on it, like even stock out the box, because those games are on Steam. So that's always cool. But again, this is a computer. You could put Windows on it through a USB, and you could very easily play Game Pass on it. So, you know, the I don't think that benefits Xbox in any way. Obviously, because if you have Game Pass, most likely you have a computer or an Xbox. But I think it's still cool. I'm telling you, the Steam Deck is cool. It's cool that it even has the options for that. I think that Xbox has the most gain from it because of the options of being able to use Xbox Game Pass on it. Xbox being so big with their games coming to Steam and stuff like that. So it makes sense for Xbox to try to be like, hey, look at the Steam Deck more than Sony. But again, I don't think that really benefits Xbox too much,
The Xbox Cloud.
Yeah,
That's what they'll use.
I have because Phil Spencer thing with the Steam Deck, okay, cute, whatever. There's actually something else that happened with Phil Spencer, but I genuinely don't know exactly what it was. But I know it was like some type of console war thing. I don't know if you guys know about it. Like, what did he say? It was like some type of quote or something that he was. It was basically like I saw a lot of people talking about. I think it might be this quote that I have on my screen where it says, "We're not in the business of trying to create a green version of someone else's blue or red colored platform." It was basically talking something about like how Game Pass and just like the identity of Xbox, and I don't know. I saw a lot of people arguing about this whole thing. I don't know if you guys want any information on it, but yeah, Xbox versus PlayStation versus Switch.
Listen, I'm just say this in the chat because I know people are gonna get mad when I say this. We're talking about Xbox. If Sony or Nintendo does anything stupid, I promise you'll find me on here saying the same thing, right? They're not trying to make a green version of the red or the blue, right? But guess what? Nintendo sells. They move copies. PlayStation sells. They move copies. It's just if I was Xbox, I would be trying my hardest to make the next PlayStation because I don't. Nobody really knows how well Game Pass works for developers. We did see that Outriders came out. It had huge success due to Game Pass. A lot of people talking about it. But the developers said that they didn't make any money off of the game from royalties or anything like that, right? I think that Game Pass deals help publishers more than they help developers. So at the end of the day, when we look at game sales, which is what help these developers and help people, right? Xbox doesn't really sell games. So I think it's cool that they want to take their own route. But then at the same time, it's not really that weird that developers don't put their games on Xbox. Why? If you're not going to put it on Game Pass, your game's not going to sell. Because it's just when you have Hades come out, and again, I know Hades is on Game Pass and people pay for Game Pass, right? But Hades came out, 93% of sales were on Sony, on the PlayStation. 7% came from Xbox. And the reason is because Phil Spencer has this idea that Game Pass helps people buy games, right? And I'll be honest with you, it does, right? Because I want to play Hades. I have Game Pass on my computer. It makes me want to buy it on my PlayStation. It really does because I don't want to play on Game Pass, right? But the way he's saying it is not how it is. You know what I'm saying? Because again, Xbox don't really buy games. You could just see it, and it hurts developers. So whatever route he's choosing to take, not trying to be the next blue or red, I don't know. I just don't know if that's the best for Xbox. I think they're worried about the route they're taking and not the games they're putting out.
Interesting. Great performance. Great speech there by Anthogar. Go check him out, youtube.com/Anthogar with 2 R's.
Yeah, I had that written on my hand, so I was just looking down like
that. Very good. But yeah, Xbox versus PlayStation versus Nintendo. The never-ending war continues on. Phil Spencer kind of put some fire back into the whole thing, and yeah, we gotta see what pans out at the end of this generation. There's developers saying we're not getting paid. They're not making any bonuses off of these games on Game Pass. So I really wonder what's about to happen with this, and we'll see if Sony ever wants to budge and really go into the Game Pass route or whatever, or Nintendo. I don't know. So, but we'll see. But talk about Nintendo because I like to give every platform some love every single episode. So we're gonna be talking about something that happened last week, I guess, the Indie World Showcase. So that's a Nintendo event that happened last week. And it's, one of the directs where they show a bunch of games. And this time it was a whole bunch of indie games.
Indies.
Yeah,
Yay.
So I just want to go from look at this list and just talk about which games were shown at this thing. The ones that matter. I'm not going to talk about every single one of them, because I don't care about most of this stuff. But
it's only like 20 minutes, so it wasn't too long.
Show. Yeah. So Axiom Verge 2. Axiom Verge 2 actually got shadow dropped, I believe. It dropped on the same day, which is amazing because that's a game that everyone wanted. It's a really good game. They talked about a Shovel Knight game, Shovel Knight Pocket Dungeon. Yeah, Pocket Dungeon. I honestly, I don't really have interest in it. I'm like probably the biggest Shovel Knight fan here on the podcast, but yeah, it's just another Shovel Knight game. Looks kind of like the what's the game called? The Crypt of the Necromancer type game, like where it's like the grid based thing. It seems interesting. So that's cool. There's a Metal Slug Tactics game that I see here. That could be fun. Tetris Effect Connected, which is amazing because that is important. Because I don't think that's not even on PlayStation, I believe. It's only on Xbox.
And I'm only gonna.
Go
ahead, JT.
I got Tetris Effect. It's VR, but Metal Slug. I was gonna say Metal Slug Tactics looks really good, man.
Yeah.
It's weird that they turned it into a tactic game because it used to be like a side-scrolling shooting game with
Shoot 'em up.
really good sprite work. Some of the best sprite work made
Beautiful
from
game,
anybody. Yeah, it looks really good. So I'm interested in that, man.
Okay. Yeah. So for me, Tetris Effect, that's like perfect, a beautiful game. I love that game. Great
I mean,
game.
October, so this year.
All I have to say about this whole thing, because honestly, this is a waste of time. Because all those games are mostly
save
doo-doo.
it for when I'm done. Save it for when I'm done reading the list.
No,
You
it's
know
about
what
the
I mean?
game it's about the game you're
okay.
saying right now.
Okay, yeah.
All I have to say is Tetris Effect will look really good on the Switch OLED.
Oh yes, that's a really good point. I like that. See, I was gonna stop you from talking, but you came with some logic. I like that.
I'm not always a
Civil.
hater. I'm not always a hater.
Next game I want to talk about. Some of these games look cool. I didn't watch this, so I don't know how any of these games actually look like. But this Loop Hero thing looks kind of cool. I don't know what that is. But Boyfriend Dungeon is a game that I heard a lot about. Boyfriend Dungeon. It's like a dungeon crawler, and it's
Like a dating sim.
A dating sim.
Your weapons can turn into it's a dating sim. Too. Your weapons turn into the guys.
Look,
That's funny.
Look,
I want that.
I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I looked into the game, right? Obviously, the game definitely, right? Like, I'll be real, like JT, right? You're not gonna play that game for the story in no way, shape, or form, right? Most of us wouldn't, but I will say, gameplay wise, the game looks really good. It looks really good. It's on Game Pass. Guys, I'm gonna be that person. I wouldn't buy it. Goes back to the Xbox not buying games, but I would play it on Game Pass because. Unless the story just goes super crazy, which the vibes I'm getting off of it, a lot of people are judging it off the name Boyfriend Dungeon. But from what I hear, the game's lit. I heard it's really good, and a lot of people like it.
I heard they had some controversy. They had to apologize for something, but I don't know what it was.
I looked into it a tiny little bit.
Yeah.
The voice actor of one of the characters in the game is getting harassed because of something that the character said, and the developers are just saying that they didn't think it would be that big of a deal, so they're gonna patch it out so it's not said no more, and to please not harass the developer.
Say it on the podcast, please.
Oh, I don't. I'm telling you right now, I literally
it was
didn't
because of his voice that people were making fun of
whatever
him.
it was, people saying that they didn't. He must play a bad guy, and I heard people saying that this guy's so good at his job that people hate him in real life.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know exactly what he did, but you're 100% right, JT. He is the villain of the game, or a villain of the game, right? And people literally just that his performance was too good, and he's getting harassed in real life. So just real quick to the people watching the podcast, please don't harass voice actors because that they're doing their job.
Okay.
So I guess the villain also stalks and harasses the player, like while you're playing.
That sounds like a cool game, honestly. Like a lot of stuff you keep mentioning, it seems interesting.
I'm telling you right now. Yeah, it's on Game Pass. I'm telling you right now. If you watch it. If you watch the gameplay of it, Albert, I'm telling you, it looks really good.
I've seen the gameplay of it. That's why I even mentioned it because I've seen like a second of it on Twitter or something like that. So hey, Boyfriend Dungeon.
Yeah, I've seen the tweets.
It looks good playing, man. I say this as someone who played Final Fantasy X-2 multiple times.
No. I love that you throw that in there. I like that.
I really appreciate it, because then I play Boyfriend Dungeon. If I ever feel weird, I'll just say, well, you know what, JT played 10-2, so I'm all right.
Okay, so I guess there's a content warning for this game. Because it says, this game may include references to unwanted advances, stalking, and other forms of emotional manipulation, so play with care. So definitely something that he probably said.
Okay, so it's not like a horror game, though. It's like just a...
No, it's just more like it has to do with stalking and emotional manipulation in the game. Gotcha. So that's why they're saying this as like a trigger warning as well.
If I'm not mistaken, the boyfriends are your weapons. you play as a female, and the boyfriends are the weapons.
Your weapons, you use your weapons, and then when you get out of the dungeon, I think it turns into a dating sim. All your weapons turn into...
I think that's exactly how it is. And then when you get into the dating sim part, I believe the weapons become men. And then from there, when you go back into the dungeon, they become your weapons again. So I could definitely see...
This is very interesting, because I'm reading like what the game is about. And apparently there's people who feel that the warning that they included is not enough, and they're asking for the stalking elements of the game to be removed or to give an option to opt out.
Okay. See, here's the
How?
problem.
What's going on? I don't get that.
Just
Because
stop the
remember, I
game,
mean,
then.
stalking can be a triggering thing. That's a thing that
Yeah, I'll-
happens and has happened.
No,
to
but like
people.
how like what are you doing in the game that's just good? That's
Well,
not-
remember, we just said that the villain stalks you, so I'm
I'm watching
assuming
some
things that
gameplay
they
of it
say.
right now, so we can all
And
see
then
this.
also it says that there are other elements on the game that the player can opt out of, and one is they're asked whether if they want to receive encouraging text from mom, which I guess can be triggering for some people. I don't know what they say, like I said, but yeah.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
I will say this: Ellie stalked Abby across the United States of America. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm gonna say.
And everybody was fine with it. And not only did I stalk her, I damn near almost murdered her. Bit off 2 of her fingers. All right.
Okay, that's like completely different
it is
though than
different, I
from
will say
this.
that's different.
Like, what the heck?
Obviously,
That
but
is not the same.
I'm just being funny, but I will say, in all seriousness, you have the option to not play it. I mean, come on now. We have that. If I don't, I'm a horror fiend. I love horror movies. I don't like torture movies. So you know what I do? I don't watch the Saw movies because I don't like seeing people being tortured and cut up in front of me. I watch what I like to watch. It's simple as that.
I agree with you. Obviously, like I was joking about the Ellie thing, right? But the reality is that honestly, I don't. This game isn't, like a crazy game that people are saying like, oh, you shouldn't. I think it's a thing of some people don't like the content that's in it. So like JT said, you just don't play it. I mean, this game is on Game Pass.
To me,
This
I
game-
just want to know what he says.
Yeah, because I can't imagine the kind of outrage that would be there. But
I'm gonna tell you right now, just because it sounds so crazy. As soon as we're done with this, I'm gonna go look it up myself to see how
100%.
how triggering it is because it has to be crazy.
I don't
I mean,
think it is.
Hey, it says the soundtrack slaps, so I definitely want to look into that because I love me some good soundtracks.
Listen,
for
I'm watching the
games.
IGN review. This has a big 6 out of 10 on it. So there you go.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's a it's an indie studio
think?
game coming on Game Pass. Sounds about right.
Sounds like a Game Pass game.
Oh. Okay. Well, hey, y'all want to hate? Let's do it. We
I'll
got
still probably give it a try, honestly.
Oh, me
I don't
too,
know, for
100%. I would
$20,
try it.
But
Again, you just literally on your computer, just go to Game Pass and just play it because you probably play it for like maybe 30 minutes to an hour. Be like, hey, this is cool, and that's it.
You were stalked enough. So I gotta get off of this. I was harassed enough. Let me get off of this game. So the next games
Start sending you text messages like Alana Peer said.
Oh yeah. So yeah, the game's actually Silent Hills.
Dude, she was really talking about Boyfriend Dungeon. That's
Yo,
not-
boyfriend dungeon is Silent Hill. # Team Real.
Yeah. Okay, next game. Islanders looks like an interesting game. I don't know anything about that. Astroneer, I seen that game on PlayStation. Don't know what that game's about, but hey, it's a PS4 game that's on there. Slime Rancher, that's another game that I seen on
Lit.
consoles. That's on here. 100 Days looks cool. Gang Beasts is a popular game that's really good. That's coming to Switch. Still not out yet, so fall. So yeah, that's it. That's all it was. There you go. You guys happy? You guys excited? There was an Indies.
Tetris, for sure, sounds really cool, especially on the Switch. Just having a portable like that,
Yeah.
beautiful.
I wonder if they have
God.
VR support for it on the Switch.
How?
Because there's a VR. There's the Labo, like the VR
That was
stupid.
big.
Cardboard thing.
thing. Yeah. Nah, I highly doubt it. But yeah, so there's that. I guess we'll talk about the last thing of the show today, which will be a game release, which is Hades. Hades released on PS5. So anyone play it?
I have it downloaded on Game Pass, and I am gonna play it. I remember when they announced it at the Game Awards. I was like fresh off of beating Dead Cells, and I remember thinking, "Damn, that game looks so fucking cool!" Right? Never did anything with it. Completely ignored it. Then it came to Switch. It got like the biggest pop ever, and I was just, man, I gotta play it still. Again, it completely ignored it. Went back. It's all on PS5. I was looking at it like heavy this time. That game looks really good. Like that game looks really good, and I'm happy I had those vibes since 2019 when I saw it be announced at the Game Awards. I'm definitely gonna buy that because I want to play that game a lot. I want to beat that game. I like roguelike, so I would definitely be there for that.
Okay. Yeah, I want the game too. It looks really, really good. I would like to play it, but yeah, I just didn't buy it yet. So
Mm.
I'm gonna get it, man. It looks polished. That's what
It
it looks like.
does.
It looks like they spent a lot of time making sure all the mechanics and everything is exactly how they wanted it to go. Because I hear nothing but good things from it, and my backlog is too big right now, so I haven't bought it. But eventually, I'm gonna get around to it.
okay.
The only thing I know from the PlayStation 5 version that's different is because I follow the Can You Pet the Dog on Twitter. And that supposedly that's a very new addition for the PlayStation 5 that you can actually do that in this game, while in the other ones you couldn't.
Has a haptic feedback, right? On the PS5, I heard like something where like I don't know, maybe it was about a different game, but I heard you can feel the dog like growl or something through the controller.
That I don't know. I just know like you can pet it for sure.
I heard something like that though too,
Don't quote
JT.
me on that. For somebody's gonna play it and then they're gonna call me out.
Yes,
I-
yes,
I
they do
heard- I
have the
heard
haptic
that.
feedback. They do.
Yeah, because it's kind of like Dead Cells. So like every time you start, you get a new weapon, and one of the weapons is a bow and arrow. So haptic feedback will make perfect sense in that game. Man, the more we talk about it, the more I'm like, I'm just trying to buy this game because, like I said, I love Dead Cells. When I beat it on the Switch,
Buy it, please. All right.
yeah, please, like, yo,
For you,
please.
for you,
man.
for you.
Get it from the start. Let us know how it is, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll let you know too.
Like,
Fan buys it, I'll let you know.
Because yeah, like I said, I played Dead Cells, and when I beat it, I remember I was like, man, that game was so good because that was another game that was like really polished. But then when I saw Hades, like you said, JT, it looks really good. When I see people like play gameplay of it from the PlayStation 5, it's just like, damn, why does this game look so fast paced, so smooth?
The trick is, from what I heard, I saw someone go over like the development history. It was in early access for a long time. So they had enough time to perfect it and then take everybody's like criticism from it and put it towards making the game as perfect as possible. So it worked. I don't hear anybody saying it's bad. Everybody's praising it.
From what I understood, it came out, I believe, in 2019, the day of the Game Awards. I don't know if it's Shadow dropped that day or if it was going to be like a few days later, but it was in that time frame for sure. It didn't go to the next year because the Game Awards was on the 6th. And it did launch on the Epic Game Store as an exclusive for 1 year. And I believe for that whole time, it's like you said, it was an early access game, and they went back and kept fixing it, kept polishing it. By the time it came on the Switch, they got good reviews. The Switch version was good. It ran well. Obviously, it ran as good as it could on the Switch. And then by the time it came to PlayStation 5, you're right, this was a whole different game. It's completely polished.
Yeah, the game was, I believe, released the same day as the Game Awards. Yeah. And it was 2018. So that was a long time
It was
ago.
2018? Yeah. Yeah, you're right. It was because that was the year that Smash didn't make it to the Game Awards for the best fighting game of the year because they missed it. Yep. I remember, and I remember then they shadow dropped it. I was like, man, that game looks so cool because it was literally exactly what it is. You're breaking out of hell, and you just fight gods. It's so cool.
You know, it looks like isometric Dead Cells. That's what it looks like.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say,
100%.
I remember it being exclusive to something, but you brought up Epic Games Store. I thought it was on Game Pass, but nah, it was the Epic Games Store. Because I remember I was like, what was the thing everyone was pissed off about? It was like something about Hades that everyone hated. It was like that in like a game called like Below or something. Like there was like 2 games that came out the same day, and everyone was like so mad, like like we like like whatever, like Epic Games Store sucks or whatever. And it was Epic Games Store. I thought it was Game Pass, but yeah, it was Epic Games Store instead.
Yeah, it was exclusive for 1 year.
That's crazy. Well, yeah, there you go. Wait, can't wait for Ghostwire Tokyo. That's the Bethesda game, right? I believe. Yeah.
Yep.
I honestly don't even know anything about that game. Let me see. But yeah, we're gonna end the podcast. I just wanted to look this
Real
thing
guy
up.
doesn't anybody out there? Is anybody gonna get play Ghost of Tsushima? That comes out Friday, right?
Oh, listen,
Absolutely.
I don't know. I want to platinum that game, but I'm at a real crossroads of like platinuming it on my
Oh, this is
PlayStation
awesome.
4, where I beat it versus restarting on my PlayStation 5. But I'm definitely gonna buy it for the DLC. The DLC is like another like 10 or 15 hour storyline. I literally can't wait to get back into that game.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. Yeah, I want. You know the thing about it, what's crazy, right? These director cuts or whatever. I kind of want to buy them physically. I know that sounds crazy, but I want them physically because I just feel like they're like special editions.
I'm right with you, man. I got a Ghost of Tsushima digital. I'm probably gonna rebuy it physical. I like having physical games, man. Something to buy.
Yeah, nah.
Something to be there in your hand. You can see it. You can hold it.
Yeah, I bought this today. Let me show you guys.
The only physical game I own is that that Ubisoft.
My favorite game. Oh, you cannot see it because my green screen, but
I don't even remember the game I'm talking. I don't even remember my game's name. The one that Ubisoft made. That's like Breath of the Wild, with all the puzzles.
oh, do you still have that game?
100%. It's inside my PlayStation every day. I don't.
that's
It's
crazy.
the only physical game.
You got that deal at Best Buy. You got Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
Oh. Bro, let me borrow that, bro.
I'm not mad
Stop.
at that, man. I'm not mad.
Look at that.
Anybody can see behind me, man.
Bro,
I
it's
like
awesome.
I like a shitload of physical media.
This physical game comes with so much stuff. I'm like, wow, this is amazing. Look at this. Let's do a little unboxing for you guys. So it comes with the game, and then it comes with these postcards. Look at that postcard. It was $10. I paid $10 for this. It comes with the postcards. It comes with a map of the city, of Night City. Right? Huge poster of it. And then it comes with like a manual, like a normal manual, like a games would come with. And the coolest thing about this is that I bought it from Best Buy, and it also comes with a steel book. But the only thing is, the steel book is like a separate order for whatever reason. It's like a different item. So I have to wait for it to like arrive after. So I'll be getting that. I'll be getting it like a week from now.
Maybe that manual will tell you how to actually play the game without it crashing every 4 seconds.
You know, I'm gonna be really fair with you, right? The only thing I actually play this on, because my PlayStation doesn't have a disc drive on it, the PS5. I only can play this on PS4, right? Because I have a PS4 Slim, and I've played this game before on PS4 Slim, the digital version when it first came out. Literally unplayable. Now the game is actually playable. I will say it's playable. Like it's
a
bad.
patch came out today. I will say an update.
I saw the patch notes.
Mohammed did.
Like they made it so that Keanu Reeves can dress in alternate clothes. There was like 3 things, and it didn't really address anything at all. But
and they also complained about it too.
I defended that game for months to Anthony, and I clocked in maybe like 50 or 60 hours in it. So I got love for that game, but
I like it a lot, bro. I put it on PC.
Yo, let's get a few facts out the way, right? They complained about the patches, like, oh, it's so hard to release patches for a game that's already out like this. So you should have released the game in the first place. And the second thing is, yo, my boy, if you don't got a physical PS5, slide that this way. I'll beat that game for the first time.
I'm gonna give it to Little because I want her to play it because she has a physical PlayStation. That's the only reason I got it, really. This she should play.
Yeah, no, I saw it for $10 on Best Buy, so I'm gonna order and buy it too.
Bro, yeah, you should, bro. It's a great.
Buy it today because the deal is
it's
got the steel book too.
As bad as it is with as many glitches as it has, it's worth $10. I paid full price for it. It's worth $10.
At the end of the day, this is what I want to say, right? This is something I thought of today because I was playing this game and everything, right? At the end of the day, when it comes to a game being good and everything, obviously I believe there's 100% a way to like judge things and like really look at it like in the sense of like the creativity of it, like how it was made. Like, you could judge it like objectively, right? But for sure, at the end of the day, if you just enjoy something, you just enjoy it. And if also when someone says a game is good and they like it, it doesn't mean that you're gonna like it. Like that's really just how it is. Like, I like Cyberpunk 2077. I 100% believe this game has so many flaws, but I like it. So at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. Like, what I like the game for what it is. Same thing with like this game called Observer that I beat the other day, and it's like I love that game. I honestly might put that as one of my favorite games I've played in like a few years.
Yes.
But on Twitter I gave it like a 7 out of 10 because objectively, the game itself, I don't feel like it's like an amazing game or anything like that, but it speaks to me because I love Cyberpunk. I love the aesthetic of Cyberpunk, and I'm just a sucker for it. So anything that allows me to like get engulfed in a world like that, I like it a lot. So yeah, it's just something where it's like, because I'm talking highly about this game, I don't think you have to play it. Like, I don't think it's a game where, oh, you have to play this because this guy's talking about it nicely. But yeah, I don't know. I just really thought about that. It's just something I see a lot of people argue about when they talk about games. It's like, if someone likes something, they just like it, you know?
Mohammed is not arguing with you. He said he did 300 hours on Cyberpunk.
Oh, man, you get the gold star, man.
But he said mods make the game a whole other level, so...
I believe it because I had fun with the game on the PS5. I got no mods at all, and I clocked in like 60 hours myself.
Personally,
it's really good.
Personally, when I played it, my only issue was, and I, JT didn't have this problem, but I did. It crashed my PlayStation a lot, and it was like way too early in the life frame of my PlayStation to feel comfortable to keep having my PlayStation 5 continuously crash, because sometimes the game crashed. A few times my whole PlayStation just crashed. So I was like, I wasn't really with it. So I returned it when they allowed people to get returns on digital games. But I didn't dislike the game. I just couldn't play it. I thought it was fun. Was it good? Of course not. Like I said, we can speak objectively and we can speak subjectively. Like, subjectively, I thought it was fun, but objectively, obviously, it had some problems. But I completely understand what Alberto's saying. My favorite movie of all time is The Land of the Lost. I've seen it like 100 times. That movie is absolutely horrible. Like, it's literally horrible. My advice would be, don't watch it. You'll just waste your time. But for me, I'll recite it word to word for you. I love the movie so much. It's not about... If people take that so personal, like, if I say a game is bad, like, bro, I think Ascent is bad. Like, I don't think that's a good game too. I don't think it's a well-made game. But I didn't hate it. It was fun. Fun and good are two different things.
Yeah, exactly. Like you could enjoy something, but if something's just like poorly made or has glitches or just like things just don't come together, it's like it's okay to say that. Like you could still enjoy something that's bad. Like that's okay to do that, you know? Like same thing with Cyberpunk. Again, I 100%. I played on PC my first time. I had a lot of visual glitches that were very, very severe, and I kind of pushed through the whole game with this. And I'm talking about like trees were like popping up within characters. Like it was like insane. But I beat the whole game. I enjoyed it. I had my fun with it. There was lackluster parts about it, but hey, I love the game. It was really fun, and yeah, just happy I got it. Cool.
Because like I think a good counter to like what Alberto's saying, right, is The Witcher 3. So many people, even JT, love The Witcher 3. That's regarded as one of the greatest games of all time. I hate The Witcher 3. There's nothing wrong with the game. It's not a bad game. I don't know what it is. I can't get it. It doesn't click for me. I don't have fun when I play that game. But it's not a.
We had a discussion about this last week because we were talking about Final Fantasy. As good as everybody says Final Fantasy 6 is, I've tried playing Final Fantasy 6 like 15 times over the years. I've gotten like 20, 30 hours deep in it. I just don't like it, and I never finish it. And I know that's considered probably, if you're not talking about Final Fantasy 7 as the best Final Fantasy, is usually 6. So I mean, I get it.
And it's so funny because like I look at that and I hear that and I'm like, I don't understand it. I don't see why JT can't power through it, right? Because it's not that far off from like truly what we know. But again, it doesn't click with you. There's no reason why I don't like The Witcher. You know what I'm saying? Like literally, you sat down with me and we tried this for years, JT. Like The Witcher is a game that I think is great. People love it. Objectively, I think it's a great game. It deserves the 90 something that it has on Metacritic. I hate that game. I really do.
Nah, bro, you just gotta wait for the PS5 version. It's gonna change your brain, your life.
Bro, I don't know what's worse, right? I don't know what's worse. The fact that you say that, the fact that I believe that, bro.
No,
I believe when the PS5 version comes out on this game, it's gonna do what the PS4 version couldn't do, what the Xbox, the Switch, the PC version. I believe that I'm gonna love that game, but I'm gonna pay $60 for that game, and I'm gonna hate it.
You're gonna buy it again, and you're gonna play like 10 minutes. And play it
nah, bro.
Because I can't.
It's a thing where it's like for sure. I think if I ever go play Witcher 3 again, I have to just go very much the open mind of like I'm just role playing as a Witcher, which I could probably easily do now because I never watched the show, but for whatever reason, the show kind of made me like it a little more. Like I just
watched it.
I didn't watch it fully, but I watched like a lot of little parts of it and everything, and I was just kind of like I like the Henry Cavill, what's his name, Henry Cavill as like the
man gave him a hood name, Henry Cavill.
Henry Cavill.
Sounded like a drink, man.
And then his daughter's not serious, Sirach. You feel me? Little Sirach. You feel me? Oh my God. That one got you.
That one's crazy.
And then not
bro.
Jennifer, it was Jaeger. You feel me? Jaeger bombs.
Yeah, Jaeger bombs. The whole thing is an alcohol reference, and we didn't pick up on it.
I was playing the wrong game the whole time.
Henry Cavill, bro, you really got me with that one, bro.
But yeah, I thought he was cool as a character. I saw a lot of the fight scenes was like bloody and stuff. I don't know. I was like, yo, this is kind of cool, and I don't know why it made me like the character more. You know?
I'll tell you my problem with the game. I went in the first area. I got legendary armor, level 4 armor. You asked me if I got to level 4. Bro, the story mission they wanted me to do was I was under leveled for it, right? So I was like, all right, bet what I'm gonna do is I'll just go do the 6,000 question marks on the screen.
I don't understand.
To do literally anything. I don't know how you progress in that game, bro. I always get stuck on the same part. And listen, I'm not a dumbass, you know what I'm saying? I've beaten Dark Souls 3. I mean, I play hard games. I don't know what it is about The Witcher that I don't know what the hell to do in that game. I really don't.
For you.
I think the problem is that he has magic, and I assume since I'm a magic lover that I could just be a magic guy. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense.
I just want to give the audience real quick a little insight on this dude. This is the same guy who said he never followed the fox in Ghost of Tsushima. I was like, yo, you have to follow the foxes. You gotta do this. He's like, he's like, bro, what are you talking about? I've never seen that before. This man beat the whole game without exploring, bro.
I let the sword guide me.
Oh,
I let the wind guide me. Bro, I don't listen to foxes.
Like, come on.
In my defense, right? In my defense,
this man.
I didn't know at the moment that I needed to put a skill point into that. I'm like, bro, what fuck all these foxes keep popping up for Alberto? I'm like, bro, these things never pop up in my game. If you look at my Ghost of Tsushima, if you look at my Ghost of Tsushima, right? I don't play that game the way everyone else plays that, bro. I walk into a building and I fight everybody head on because I have my guy beast for fighting. I don't have any exploration, anything to help my character. No. I just fight people, bro. That's it. I do a standoff. I kill as many as I can. I just fight.
Oh man, I'm super excited for that, man. I really want to play that. Like, the only thing is that's stopping me is I don't have a physical PS5 and I want to buy it physically. So I'm just kind of like, I don't know what to do. I'm just kind of like, I don't know. but I really want to play Ghost of Tsushima again, bro. That's such a good game. But yeah, we're kind of getting off track here. Death Stranding is another one I'm gonna get up physically, so I'm super excited for those two. So yeah, guys. That's pretty much the show. Anything else you guys want to say? I think we're pretty good rapping. You guys are good rapping here. Good. Okay.
Hold on, and I think it's doing something. Okay, he's back.
Okay.
Yeah, my bad. Sorry,
It's
what
all
happened?
good.
I had a phone call.
I was gonna wrap up the show and kind of just let everyone go because I kind of had you guys for almost 2 hours already. So I think it's probably about time to say goodnight to everyone and say goodbye. So go ahead with your outro, Ant.
Listen, guys, I appreciate you guys coming in. Thanks for anybody who donated in super chats today.
Yeah.
Check out my channel at Anthogar on YouTube. Follow me on Twitter at Anthogar. If you guys want to talk or interact with any of these things. But remember, Witcher 3 isn't good. Xbox got no games, you know what I'm saying? And Team Real is real.
Let me say real quick. Address Muhammad in the chat. He said something for you. He said,
Yeah.
Ant's not the only guy who actually didn't like The Witcher 3. My older brother barely played 2 hours of the game and hated the game. He liked Skyrim more. I agree with his brother.
Bro, Skyrim is, I don't care how, Skyrim is, again, one of those examples of a game that's not, like, it's not polished at all, right? So you could give it its complaints for it, but Skyrim is way better than The Witcher. I think the problem was that when I picked up The Witcher, in my mind, subconsciously, I thought I was going to play another Skyrim. I think that literally was what killed the game for me.
There's a reason why Skyrim's on everything and The Witcher isn't.
I just want to real quick, because we're gonna close the show. We're doing our outros. I just want to real quick, Beth Animal, which games do you think are overhyped? I just want to know, personally. I'm not saying they're not. I'm not disagreeing with you, but I just want to know what games you personally are gonna say.
It's funny. I was literally about to type to him because I was gonna say I do agree that some PlayStation games are overhyped. Like
what?
Days Gone.
Oh, Days Gone, like the worst game ever.
I was hyping it up to Ant for like a year just to troll him and mess with him.
Oh,
Yeah.
That game is like the definition of a 7 or an 8 out of 10.
I never forget. I watched at that time. I was living in Atlanta, right? I never forget. I watched that they had a state of play with that ugly 720p Nintendo Switch video that they showed of Days Gone, and I never forget. JT literally triggered me when he texted me and said, "That is gonna be a generation-defining game." I was triggered. I was like, "Bro, don't do that."
Oh my god, that was a terrible game. Yeah.
Every time he came over my house, I was like, "Yo, so you gonna get that Days Gone?" And you want to know the funniest thing? He bought it.
I bought it first.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
I don't own it.
I bought it. Yeah, and let me tell you something. I bought it on sale for $40. I paid $40 too much for that game.
That game's free on the PlayStation Plus thing now forever. So go ahead, have PlayStation Plus, and you'll be able to play Days Gone whenever you want.
I gotta stop doing that when I'm walking on my bike like that.
Yeah, that's how he talks. It's so annoying.
Bev said The Last of Us Part 1 and 2. Not a masterpiece, not even close. Good, though Part 1 is.
Well, damn, I'll say if you don't consider The Last of Us Part 1 or Part 2 masterpieces, what games are you playing? Because I must have missed out.
Part 1 is overrated.
Those be the people that say that.
Listen.
That. Never mind.
Listen,
go ahead.
I really do like The Last of Us. Both of them. I think they were great games. I mean, overrated. I mean, it's. You tell me what you mean by overrated. You know what I mean? You guys, you choose, because I don't know. I can answer based off of that, because I will tell you, are they good games? Really, yes. They're both very, very good games. That's all I can tell you.
That's why I was asking, what game would you consider is a masterpiece? If The Last of Us Part 1 and Part 2 are not masterpieces, I got to know what your definition of a masterpiece.
Yeah, I want to know, like, what do you put higher than that?
And don't come in here saying no Yves 8. You know what I'm saying? I need real
You
games.
gotta say Days Gone, just for you, Ant.
I think he might put like a Metal Gear Solid game probably, because he has a snake.
Listen,
I'll
he
defend
platinumed
that, because I'll say Metal Gear Solid 3 is my favorite game of all time. I'll sit there. That's damn near a perfect game. But that doesn't mean that The Last of Us Part 1 and Part 2 are not masterpieces in their own sense.
Yeah.
It's because the combat is broken, as Sam says.
I mean, it's I don't know. It's basic ass combat. It's not really that crazy.
If you're talking about Part 1, but I mean, if you're talking about Part 1 is probably one of the most expansive survival horror games that's on the PS3. What else plays? What else has a? I mean, we're gonna get sidetracked because I could go really.
Oh,
deep.
I could talk. Oh, no.
Yeah.
I think everyone here, as including Little, could talk about The Last of Us very, very heavily. I'm bringing it up because I know
how is the combat not good? What survival horror would you say has better combat than The Last of Us Part 1 on PS3? The only thing I would say is tops is
Nothing?
maybe Resident Evil 4.
I mean, well, yeah, I was saying, that's not originated on Resident Evil 4. I mean, on PS3. That's like that's a last gen before that, right?
No, the Last of Us. Well, yeah, but I'm saying
RE4, yeah.
that's how far back I would have to find a comparison because RE4 is damn near another perfect game.
Exactly.
What else? What other survival horror game would you say compares to The Last of Us Part 1 that generation or before? Like, give me an example.
And honestly, I don't know if Beth is saying this. And I'm not calling Beth out. I'm just saying it's a general
No, Beth just
conception.
said.
When they say part 1 is really good, and they don't like part 2, it's just because of some fake hidden agenda that they think the game is this. So you know.
Listen. I just love the chat right now because a lot of the names are saying here. Listen, no hate to this. No hate to this at all.
Yeah, but most of the things y'all naming are not masterpieces.
The Zelda Ocarina of Time. Listen, hey.
I'm gonna put that down.
Listen,
I think Majora's Mask is better than Ocarina of Time. I never liked
honestly, right? And this is like talking to Mohammed. I think Zelda Ocarina of Time is one of the most important games of all time for its generation, its era, right? But those games did not age well to what is considered a masterpiece today and what was considered a masterpiece back in those days. So I think that a lot of people look at the term masterpiece and like the greatest game of all time with a little bit of nostalgia in it. But I definitely think that a lot of those games didn't age well. Like Metal Gear Solid 4, I do not think is a masterpiece in any way, shape, or form.
Yo,
No, wait, hold on.
Metal Gear 4
This is something that Mohammed
Metal
just
Gear
said.
4. Oh, go ahead. My bad, little.
Sorry, because he just said what defines the game, any game, is the gameplay, not the movie, like the story. That's why I'm pissed at Sony. They focus on the cinematics and
Can I say something real quick before we get to
That's
that?
wrong.
Hold on.
Bayonetta 3 and Devil May Cry are the best games.
Podcast reignited.
Podcast is add another hour to it real quick. Hold up, because let's say this one thing. He's talking to JT specifically. So JT, give me a rebuttal to what he said. Go ahead.
I would sit there and say, if you're going to sit there and say that gameplay is the only thing that matters in a game, then you would have to argue that, Bayonetta 3 or Devil May Cry 5, which are probably the best playing pure action gameplay games that have been made ever. They're the best games of all time. And I mean,
greatest of all time.
I own both. I'm a fan.
Time out real quick, just for JT.
Yeah.
He did say Devil May Cry 5 is a masterpiece.
I'll sit there and say I agree. Devil May Cry 5 is a masterpiece. I'm just sitting there saying I hold Devil May Cry 5 right there, and then right next to it is The Last of Us Part 2. If you're gonna play The Last of Us Part 2, discount the story. Take the story out of there. Give me another game that plays just as good as it. I mean, when I played The Last of Us 2, The Last of Us 2 plays so good, it plays like Metal Gear 5, but in a survival horror setting.
I agree.
I don't know any other game that plays as good as that.
And Metal Gear 5's gameplay, that's like top tier stuff, So to have that,
Metal Gear 5. Say what you will about the game, Metal Gear 5 is probably the best open world stealth game ever made.
Absolutely, I 100% agree. That's literally that's amazing.
I think right, people don't understand one big thing, right? And like Mohammed said, what defines a game is the gameplay, not the movie. Listen, video games are a medium of entertainment, right? When you watch movies, you watch TV, you read a book, all these things have one thing in common, and it's story. The reason I think that gaming is the best medium to portray this is because you can allow people to play games, right, and experience the story through playing it. Now, if we were in the 80s and the 90s, right, gameplay reigned supreme because gaming was behind at that time. Where we're at today, people push the medium of gaming as an art. So to completely discredit stories is the most baby boomer thing I ever heard. Like that's an old head statement.
I'll tell you one better, man, because this is back in 1998. This is during the same era when Ocarina of Time and everything came out. Gameplay, the only game that had cinematics like a movie was Metal Gear Solid 1. Every other game followed suit after that. Metal Gear Solid 1, the reason why Metal Gear is such regarded as a high praise series is for everything that happened in Metal Gear Solid 1. I mean, Metal Gear, I don't know how many people know Metal Gear started off on the regular Nintendo, the MSX. There was like 3 different games that came out before it was on the PlayStation. The PlayStation 1 game with all the cinematics and everything, making it the whole package as a whole on the PS1 is what made Metal Gear so revered as it is. It wasn't just gameplay.
Talk to him. Let's go.
If stories didn't matter, right, then where did the success come from? Games like Final Fantasy 6, Final Fantasy 7, these games, you didn't play them to click on menus all day. That wasn't the most interesting thing about them. Stories have notoriously driven games throughout all of history, and although I do agree with Mohammed, Red Dead Redemption 2 is also a masterpiece, right? Because I think you're right. It has amazing story. It has great gameplay.
Hold on. Yeah, we gotta talk about it in the chat real quick. Hold on. Yeah, you're saying Red Dead 2 is one of the best games ever made. Period. Right there, that period is 100% fact, right? And then
look at the-
to say Red Dead Redemption 1 had a better story, in my opinion, no, it didn't. No, bro.
I
Go back and play
literally play Red Dead 2 and then I play Red Dead 1.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what makes me more biased, sure, because I feel like a lot of people always hold on to Red Dead 1 because they played it first, but no. The
Or
story is
maybe,
better.
or maybe you didn't have nostalgia glasses.
I got a little
Or that too.
because for Red Dead 1, I like Red Dead 2. I love the game was fucking good. Red Dead 1 is good too. I like cowboy stuff. The difference is I think Red Dead 1 is more fun to play than Red Dead 2. Red Dead 2 is an overall better game, but there's so much you got to do just by the physics and everything. You got to take baths. You got to do everything with Arthur. Red Dead 1 is more of an arcade experience. It's funner. It's funner to play. It's a better
barren ass world, though.
To touch on the chat real quick, right? Lewis says something huge here. Thanks for putting this. Xbox is just FPS games and multiplayer games. They need story games. The reason why Xbox suffers so much is because they don't have a game with a story that drags people through it. They rely on gameplay and certain aspects of games that ultimately have proven are not enough to get people to not only talk about these games but to hold them up there. Because look at one thing we're talking about almost all these games in this discussion, right? Red Dead Redemption 1, Red Dead Redemption 2, Sam said Uncharted 2, Last of Us. What Xbox games are we talking about? Why? Because Xbox none of these games have stories to even talk about, which is why we can't bring them up in this conversation. So
listen, let me just stop you there. Listen, I don't care about Xbox. Xbox, we all know is trash. We don't have to appreciate anything about that. I just want to touch upon this. You're gonna say The Last of Us 1 and 2 are lackluster, they're nothing, and you're gonna say Uncharted 2 is a masterpiece? Are you kidding me? That's JT game, bro. Stop this.
Listen, the only reason why I would say Uncharted 2 is a masterpiece is just because Chloe was introduced in the series. And
I'll be that guy. I'll say Uncharted 2 is the best one out of the series.
Highly disagree. Trash.
That's nostalgia glasses too.
Which one do you think is better?
Uncharted 4.
Hold on.
Lost
Literally
Legacy.
every single Uncharted game is a natural progression of the last, right? And since these are basically action adventure movies, right?
Yep.
Just because you got bigger explosions doesn't mean it's better. By that,
No. Uncharted 2 had bigger explosions. Uncharted 2 had bigger explosions.
Look at Uncharted 2 and look at Uncharted 4 and look at the mature progression of storytelling in that game. There's no way we can look back at Uncharted 2. And literally the only reason people like Uncharted 2 so much is because you guys remember those explosions pulling it through. When you sit there and you look at that game, Uncharted 4 story.
You're probably right, man. I may have nostalgia glasses on, but at the same time, I will say it's different playing it because when Uncharted 2 happened, did you guys play Uncharted 2? Was it the first one you played, or did you play the other ones?
Okay, let me give you my history here, because I'm probably the biggest Uncharted fan in this chat right here, right, and on this panel. Bro, I was there. I was looking at pictures on a magazine of Uncharted 1, and like my mind was blown. I was like, there's no way they're going to make this game. There's no way this is going to be real. Bro, I love Uncharted. When the first game came out, my mind was blown. I thought it was the coolest thing of all time. Uncharted 2, I was even more mind blown. I love Uncharted 2. Uncharted 3 came out, I love Uncharted 3 even more. Every time they made a game, they progressed in some way and made the gameplay better or the story better. I love it all. Uncharted 4? No.
You're not cooking right now.
Uncharted 3 was boring, man.
Mohammed says Uncharted 2 is the best in the series. JT's right. This is the part that's like, you're completely wrong. And I'm speaking. Uncharted 4's story was weak compared to the second game. Get out.
The second game is not that good in the story. The gameplay and stuff is better than one.
And I just want to touch on this too, right? Because the chat is trying us right now. My man said stories and characters make a game great. That's why GTA San Andreas is still the most talked about GTA game. The most talked about GTA game is GTA 5, the one that's everywhere, that's made the billions of dollars. No, literally, I promise you right now. I promise you right now, the $1 billion that people have spent on that game, nobody is talking about San Andreas except for, again, old heads who sat there and played the game, and they're like, I remember that game being so evolutionary that's the game. That's the best one. I remember it being the best one.
Yeah, bro.
Well, that's me. I'm that guy saying it, man. Because like I said, I think the only one who I can't really say anything because bro, he played them all in order. I can't.
Day one, bro. Day one.
His Uncharted love. I won't deny that, but I will say, man, most people who I hear who they compare the Uncharted series, they played the later ones first before they played the older ones.
Why? Because they're Xbox fans. They're Xbox fans.
But I'm saying that'd be like that's like people sitting there trying to tell me that Final Fantasy X is better than Final Fantasy VII because it has voice acting and the graphics are better and everything. I mean,
Yeah.
I've seen
it's
people
a
say
hard
that.
argument. It's a very hard argument to say.
Listen, but listen, I'm gonna be real with you guys. It really isn't a hard argument. Why? Because the games are very similar, anyways. Like, they're not like if it's like a big jump or anything. I'm gonna just tell you straight up, story wise and gameplay wise, Uncharted 4 is absolutely astronomically better than Uncharted 2. Uncharted 2 is literally Uncharted 1, but they just fixed the game. They made it not like so clunky and stuff. And that's it. The story is really stupid. Like, it's about like the Avatar people or whatever. They goes to the city of Shambhala. I'm telling you, I know this stuff because I play these games a lot. I'm not just saying this just to say it. People have it wrong. People, what they did, they bought 360s back in 2005 or whatever. And then what happened? They got bored of Halo, and then they saw Uncharted came out in 2009, and it was Uncharted 2, right? That's when they all got the PS3 Slim, right? They bought the PS3 Slim, and then they got Uncharted 2 with it. They're like, oh my god, this is amazing. Gears of War sucks. Why? Because Gears of War is bad, and everything Halo and all that stuff, all Microsoft stuff is trash, and they finally tasted a little bit of Naughty Dog shit, and they were like, oh shit, this shit's amazing, right? And then what happened was they were all super hyped on it, whatever. And then Uncharted 3 came out, and everyone was mad because Uncharted 3 was actually progressing the games and trying to do more story and trying to change things up or whatever. And people were like, "Oh, this is boring. I want to just sit at the game, play a game where it's like mindless and you just shoot blue people." It's like, no, this one's about Sully. This is about Nathan Drake's like backstory. There's a lot to it.
Just real quick.
There you go.
Real fast. Someone in the chat, Sam, said, I saw the development for the Uncharted series. Uncharted 3 was so bad, the only good part was the playing scene and then the one that they showed in the trailers. I'll say, I think you got an argument for saying Uncharted 4 is the best one because, I mean, the gameplay, that's where they peaked. They did everything really, really good.
And story.
I know with the story, too, because the story's way better than part 2. I can agree with that. But I don't remember anything that happened in part 3. I remember Drake got shot out of a plane and then grabbed onto a crate and then parachuted in the desert. That's all I remember from part 3.
Well, Uncharted 3 is about Nathan Drake and Sully's story, about them like meeting and stuff. That's what the whole point of the game.
I will say this.
I'm trolling a little bit. I'm just saying it was a
I get you. That's
just
fair.
real
If you don't
quick,
remember, it's fine.
right?
I get it.
Mohammed said, you say that, Albert, but compare Uncharted 2 back in 2009. It was literally a next-gen experience. Dude, it's 2021. Let that go. You got to let that go. It's 2021. We're not worried about next-gen experience for 2009.
And bro, stop this. I'm going to tell you right now, the reason why you're saying that, why? Because you weren't there in 07 when you walked through the water with Nathan Drake and you saw his pants get wet and they stayed wet when you walked out the thing. That was next-gen. That was the first game. That was next gen. Y'all played the game after like these games were already. To me, it was already like, okay, this is normal. Y'all experienced Uncharted 2 for the first time. We're like, yo, this is amazing, whatever. And you probably played the first one after, and we're like, oh, this is not as good as the second one that I just played. That's why you say this. I'm telling you, like, if you were there day one in 07 with Uncharted 1, that was next gen. That was blind blowing. The sequel, guess what? It was better than the first one, obviously. And that's all I'm trying to say is they just progressed as they kept going on. Obviously, with Uncharted 4 and Lost Legacy. What I will say is Uncharted 4 and Lost Legacy, they're one game to me. They're both in the same universe. They're the same exact, like, it was supposed to be DLC anyway. So
it was supposed to be a DLC, yeah.
But it was too good to be a DLC. So
that's true. It was different.
And again, I'll defend Mohammed, right? I'll defend Mohammed because I literally bought a PS3 the day one, right? I don't care when you played the game, right? I'm not gonna assume that you play number 2 first. You're gonna play the first one first, right? The problem is these games. I agree with Cedric a little bit. He says the game is good, not great. It's not that I agree with that, right? But he's saying it's a general, treasure hunting story, right? So if the story is general treasure hunting and it's about action pieces, as the generations progress, the action pieces look better, the story got better. If the game only had space to either naturally progress or get worse, and each game naturally progressed a little bit more, leading up to Uncharted 4 and Lost Legacies being the best polished product that you could get from Uncharted.
And let me talk about that real quick, right? Because touching upon what you said, I understand, yeah, you played it day one, whatever. Listen, all I'm going to say is this. You probably don't like Uncharted 3. And I'm pretty sure you're going to admit that in chat. You're going to say, I don't like Uncharted 3. Okay, that's the reason why you're saying this. Why? Because that's it. So you have nostalgia for the second game. And what happened? There was a big gap to the fourth game to come out. And the same thing happened. You're like, oh, I don't like this game. I like the old game. Because you just have nostalgia for the game that you liked more. That's it. That's what happened. And you're just not open-minded with this shit. That's just the truth, right?
Because honestly, right?
Let me talk about it real quick, right? The original trilogy of Uncharted, as games, they're down here. Uncharted 4 is up here. It's a completely different, big gap. There's a big gap. Their first trilogy, they're very close to each other as games. But when you go to the fourth game, it's a whole huge leap. Because guess what? They made The Last of Us, and they got Neil Druckmann, and they had Bruce Straley in the team, and they understood how to write this shit. Amy Hennig, I respect her, but realistically, all the games she's written are very like cartoonish and stuff. Like Uncharted, the original trilogy, I don't hold them as like actual great games. They're just fun, cool games. But at the time, they were a lot higher. Back then, I would give them a 9, 10, like 10 out of 10. Those were great games. Now, I give those like a 6 or 7 because they were so tied onto the time and the technology being brand new. That was the only point of Uncharted. Now, Uncharted doesn't matter. That's just the truth. I'm just sorry. So there it is.
And I'm just gonna say in the chat, man, if you want anybody want to see Alberto get hype, all you got to do is talk shit about Uncharted.
Uncharted, yeah. Literally, I'm not joking. Talk about Uncharted. I'll talk about all day.
I'll tell you this much.
Last of Us.
I'll tell you this much. When you look at these games, right? Again, I don't really care for Uncharted that much, right? I don't lose any sleep on anybody saying anything about those games. I don't like Indiana Jones. I'm not here for that, right? What I will tell you is Uncharted 4 is definitely the best one because out of all the ones that I played and all the time I sunk into them, Uncharted 4 was the best polished experience, and that's coming from a person with literally no nostalgia to this title at all.
Yeah.
Hold on. Sam says The Darkness 1 is a masterpiece in terms of music and story. When they brought in the grapple hook dynamic, it was better. And then, yeah, Louis said the only thing that changes are graphics and the deeper lore will go. And Mohammed said, I didn't like the right direction of Uncharted 4. It was really great in terms of shooting and gameplay in general, but the characters were not that deep like the older game.
Oh my! Go play, bro. I'm telling you.
I'm not even my problem, right?
Like
it's just
you have to play Uncharted 4. Did you play? Are you sure you played the same game?
I'm gonna tell you right now that it's just I can't. I disagree with Mohammed 100%. I literally do because Uncharted we have can we get somebody to ban this guy again?
Yep, got it.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, I love this conversation because truly, I don't think we should keep going because we could literally do this for hours, right? But I will say, Uncharted 4 for sure is the best Uncharted, and that's where I'm at with that one. I understand. Again, I'm only speaking objectively right here because I have no room to speak subjectively about this. But again, I don't know. I think that's the best one.
And man, I will say, man, who was what is his name? Trizviz in the comments. He's talking about who remembers Shenmue. I got my Dreamcast sitting back right there, man. I see you old head just like me. Shenmue 1 and 2. Those are the first. Those are the proto open world games before open world games existed.
And exactly. Now I'll talk about what Shenmue, right? You bring up Shenmue. At the time, Shenmue was very eye opening. You were your attention was brought to it because of the technical advancements that game had and how cool and unique it was, right? But now you could look at Shenmue, it's just kind of this is like a walking sim. You don't do anything. You just kind of
which is exactly.
If you try to play it now, Shenmue, it's basically a glorified tech demo for what an open world game is.
Exactly.
Because
Uncharted's
and
the same
literally
way.
when you yeah, real quick, just to touch on what Hassan said. Love your opinion, bro. I definitely respect your opinion. I'm happy you come in here to argue with us. It's all out of love. But what I will say is, right, the literal problem with Shenmue 3 was that it literally was there's no progression in it. You know what I'm saying? That it literally looked and felt like the old game. So it goes to show you that progression is important in games, which is why if Uncharted 2 at the time being the best when it came out, if it would have just continued just being Uncharted 2 and never progressed, we wouldn't be here with Uncharted 4. You know what I'm saying? Because people care about progression.
Yeah, but again, there's people, I get it. There's people who, to them, they're like, oh, I don't like Uncharted. I don't like Uncharted 4. So they don't care. Literally, there's a lot of people who, hung on to Uncharted 2 and, just kind of just disregarded the rest of it. They're just like, yeah, none of it's good. We just like Uncharted 2, which is, to me, again, that's very big nostalgia. That game is cool and good, but there is no story. There isn't much. It is very shallow. It's very basic. Again, I love Uncharted 2. That's the worst part about this. Every time I talk about Uncharted 2, I always have to sit here and talk bad about it when I can never openly just love the game because people just overhype it way too much. You go back to this game, I'm sorry, it's not that good. And again, Uncharted in general, again, like I said, it's the point of it was the tech. The point was the tech. The point was, hey, we have acting, we have mocap, we have the people with the balls on them, acting in our stage, and we have them in the game. That was the cool part about this. But yeah, that's that. But yeah, so yeah, I really respect. I respect everyone who's talking normally in the chat, and I really. I appreciate the conversation we're all having and everything. So I appreciate that.
I've asked, what about Infamous? I don't know if you touched upon that.
I like Infamous.
I like Infamous. I don't think it should be held in a category of one of the best games of all time or anything like that. But
they were good when they came out.
They were good, and I thought that First Light was done exceptionally well.
Oh, like the new game, The Second Son?
Yeah, like when the Second Son came out, and then the DLC that they had with it, the First Light. I thought that one was really good, like really good.
Yeah, no, it was fun. It kind of I look back at it, kind of reminds me of, especially First Light reminds me of Control, which I've been playing recently. But yeah,
very similar.
Control's too good, man. Control's really good. I don't want to get sidetracked and talk about something else, but Control's really, really good, man.
So I don't get sidetracked or anything, but all I'll say to that comment is I'm not having too much fun with it. That's all I gotta say on Control.
I will say real quick. Sam said I went back to Uncharted 2 and platinumed it for the PS4. That's an impressive thing to do. Those games are incredibly difficult. Those games are incredibly difficult to platinum because literally they weren't made well. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of the things you have to do for the platinums in those games are incredibly hard because of the way that they're made.
Yeah.
I think the game that defined the PS2 in terms was Metal Gear Solid 2. That game was a technical masterpiece. Agreed.
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah.
I can't gush over that game enough, man. I will sit there before we even had a podcast, just me having conversations with Ant. I will sit there and talk to him for about 45 minutes to an hour about my experiences with Metal Gear Solid for no reason at all, just because I like that game.
I never beat 1, 2. I don't think I beat any Metal Gear Solid game, but I have so much history about the lore just because I talked to JT about it for so many years.
Yeah.
But people saying can't wait for God of War for sure. Sam said, "Oh my God, Control is amazing." For the God of War thing, I'm okay with the delays as long as that game comes out beautiful.
I'm a what? That was Little Ant.
No, but honestly, I didn't see that you were saying the exact same thing. I was literally saying that like by myself. I was like, I'm okay with the delays. That's crazy because you said that's me, dummy, and I looked down. I literally read what you said, but I didn't actually read it. I just said, I'm okay with the delays as long as the game comes out good.
Well, I was gonna say. To give you guys just a little example of like this whole conversation of like liking stuff or whatever, right? I 100% believe the new God of War game is amazing, great. I'll be completely honest with you guys. I like the original trilogy a lot more than that game. But again, I'm not going to tell you that story's better of the original trilogy or the gameplay. None of it, bro. That I'm literally purely talking straight out of like nostalgia. I like the original God of War trilogy so much more than the new game. And that's just my opinion.
I'm happy that you said that you like it because that's the beautiful thing about this conversation. People can like whatever they want. Because I'm gonna tell you right now that
my only thing I want to say the main thing, right, is I'm telling you guys, I'm admitting what I'm saying here. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you guys that God of War 2 is better than God of War 2018. That's a lie. That's literally a flat out lie. I'm lying. Like that's stupid to say. That's stupid to say. So that's the same thing. I'm not trying to say like.
It says ban you from your own channel, bro.
He said ban you from your own channel about the God of War comic. I'll be honest, right? I don't like God of War 1, 2, and 3 very much because I remember when I was young, I used to say, bro, people only like this game because you could cut people's heads off, right? Because Kratos was such a one-noted character, like he was so boring.
Was better. Kingdom Hearts was just better. I remember you told me that all the time.
Hey, listen. Shit was more enjoyable at that time, you know what I'm saying? What you talking about when I was a kid, though? You know what I'm saying? As a conscious adult, obviously, I don't even know why you would bring up Kingdom Hearts besides trying to get a little laugh. But God of War 1, 2, and 3 was so one-noted. You know, they kill his family. He kills his own family by being controlled, and then he just screams for 3 whole games. So again, it goes back to that thing. When you go and you look at God of War 2018, the progression of storytelling, the progression of combat, the progression of everything. Such a way better game.
Yeah, like so. This Sam, he mentions how the new God of War went too cinematic and less gameplay. Love the combos, then spamming R2 and triangle. This is my thing, right? A lot of the conversation against Sony is like the cinematic thing and like the gameplay or whatever. Listen, to be real, I'm gonna just be 100% real. This kind of goes back to what JT was saying. Listen, if you guys love gameplay, yes, games should have good gameplay. Absolutely. I 100% believe that. But games could have other aspects of them that are good that makes them just as good as any other game, which is like story or whatever else it is. And like that could be congratulated too. I just feel like there's people who like, oh, it's a game. It has to be fun. It has to be gameplay focused. It can't be anything else or I'm not going to respect it at all. Because if you believe that, then why aren't you playing fighting games? Why aren't you playing Devil May Cry every day? Like you should be playing fighting games. If you like gameplay so much, I want to see you doing crazy combos in MVC. I want you to be playing Dragon Ball Z every day. I want you to be playing Mortal Kombat. I don't want you to be playing these single player games if you're going to be talking about gameplay all day. Like, that just makes no sense. Like, respect games for what they are.
Here's the problem, right? When a lot of people say like the Sony cinematic thing or whatever, do these people play this game and they just play nothing but quick time events or something? You control these characters. You definitely, again, In God of War 2018, you start off with the axe, then you go back to the blades, which has reminiscent gameplay to the older games. Obviously, it's not the same exact thing, right? But it feels closer to that. The gameplay has progression in it. What is cinematic about that? Like literally, the number one thing about that game that's so cool is that everything flows so effortlessly between the cinematics and the game. But I promise you right now, when you fight the dragon.
Because isn't God of War 2018? The whole thing is one track. It's all one.
It's one track. And let me ask you a question. When you fight the dragon, right? When you fight the dragon inside the cave, right? And it goes to the top floor. Are you telling me that wasn't a hype ass boss fight with mechanics? You're telling me that all you remember is the final cinematic that every single game happens.
I love this conversation, right? Because even for the people who would say, "Oh, I like the old God of Wars more than the new one," even me as a fan, I like the old God of Wars more than the new one, right? God of War was the number one franchise I remember people used to always make fun of because you'd be like, oh, all it is QuickTime events, because they were right. Because all that game was, at the boss fights, it was just like, press triangle, and then press this. Like, it was like all this slow motion stuff, and you like, press this and press that. That was the biggest thing with QTE the entire time. So if anyone's going to sit here and be like, oh, the new God of War is bad because the gameplay is not good or whatever, it's like, at least this game is a lot less on like the QTEs. Like the original games were heavy on the QTEs, but at the time with the technology and stuff, that was cool. You feel me? That was lit. But I mean, that's just that. But you have to be realistic. Go back and play those old games. They're filled with QTEs the entire time. Like you barely, like, you fight, obviously you do, but they'll make cries way better.
Is that nostalgia? Is that nostalgia glasses? Is people saying this game is so good, and the last time they played it was when the game came out? And I don't want people to think like I'm some god or something. I do the exact same thing all the time. There's a reason why for so many years I thought Kingdom Hearts was great, because I remember it being great. And when I went back and played it, guess what? It's not that good, right? So when especially like looking at the progression from Kingdom Hearts 2 to 3, it's like there's literally no progression. It feels like the same game with just slightly upgraded graphics. When you look at the progression of God of War, that's actual progression. When you look at the progression of Uncharted 4, that's actual progression. There's a reason why a lot of people weren't there for the PS3, right? But when the PS4 came out, so many people jumped on it because that console progressed, those games progressed, they got better, they got more appealing. So it is to anybody who says this is the best game of all time, go back and play that game. If you play that game all the time, like Dreamcast guy beats Final Fantasy 7 every 6 months for some reason, right? If you do that, then hey, listen, you have a strong argument if you want to tell me that. But I'm sorry, you cannot tell me that Link's Awakening or A Link to the Past is the best game of all time, right? And then when I ask you, when did you play A Link to the Past? In '94 when it came out, or '92, whatever. Like, no. You remember what you want to remember. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But yeah, like that's and the same thing. Like, again, we want to end this for sure. But again, so another game you just mentioned, Red Dead Redemption 2, is like a huge game. I 100% believe that game is like very, very good. Again, yeah, the gameplay is very, very basic and very like slow and like it's like when you move him around, it feels like you're controlling like a drunk character or something. But that's what the game is. Like I don't understand. Like people, you have to understand. Like games are whatever the creators chose for the game to be, right? And then that's just how it is, you know? If you want great shooting mechanics from a game like Red Dead Redemption, why are you playing Red Dead Redemption? Go play other shooters. Go play like Halo or something or whatever. What's Apex Legends? I feel like that's a great shooting game. Go play that. That's a really good shooting game. There's a lot of shooting games that are good. Why choose Red Dead Redemption to sit there and like be mad about the way that the game plays or whatever? I don't know. It's just such a weird thing to do.
Mohammed said, do you visit them just to play for nostalgia, right? He said, you said it yourself, just like Kingdom Hearts 2. A lot of people, obviously, when we go back to play older games that we already played, that we love, it is for nostalgia because it's to recreate that feeling we got the first time we played it. But you have to be honest with yourself. Because, again, you could play things as a pure fan, like with nothing else in your heart, right? And like at that point, we're subjectively speaking, like it's fine to go back and love that game, right? But a lot of the times when you take out your feelings for the game and you go back and play a lot of these old games, you sit there and you're like, yeah, I can understand why some of these games don't have sequels. I can understand why some of these games didn't progress. Why I can understand why some of these games suck now. It's because they really weren't that good to start out with. You know, we were just a little younger.
Listen.
We played them, mind blown, but we're here.
Yeah, listen, guys. Listen again, because you say you quit online gaming. Okay, another great one is Doom. The Doom games are better than ever.
Absolute. That is if you want to talk about gameplay, Doom Eternal and Doom 2016 are absolute masterpieces for first-person shooters. absolute masterpiece. Like I will that if anybody says otherwise, then you just don't like shooting games.
And yeah, you better, if you don't like that game, you better not be talking about Red Dead Redemption 2's clunky shooting or Uncharted's shooting is not my favorite or whatever. It's like, guys, then what are you playing then? I don't get it. But I want to touch upon Vinny. Listen, Vinny, you're my, I really respect you. You're my boy. I respect you being in the chat and chatting on here. But I'm gonna tell you one thing. I'm not playing Days Gone. I'm not playing that. You know, I played it on the PS4 when it first came out, and then I played it on PS5. And I ask Ant, man. I try, bro. I really try to be really positive with a game like Days Gone and with The Witcher 3 and things like that. But it's a thing when a game doesn't click with me, especially like Days Gone, where it tells you to start fighting people, and then you start pressing square, and the fighting animations are terrible. Like, the game is just really clunky and weird, and it's boring. No story. The story's trash. It's like, I can't. Like, what am I playing at that point? It's too long. The game's way too long for nothing.
Just to touch on what Vinny said, he says, I don't get Doom. It's cool, though. Doom is a hard game, especially when you start playing on harder difficulties. The way you actually have to balance the usage of your gun strategically to make sure you keep getting ammo back from killing people is incredibly difficult. But as to go play Days Gone, yeah, nah. We're Alberto, when he was like hyped to replay it on PS5, when he got a PS5, I was just telling him, like, again, it comes across as some hater stuff, but it's because I was there trying to be a fan for the game. I told Alberto, bro, playing this on PS5 isn't going to change the fact that you just ride around talking to Boozer all day, mumbling on your bicycle. It's not going to change the fact that you have to sit there for like a 30-minute cutscene or driving around on a golf cart talking to a lady. The game's just boring. I hate the argument, oh, a game really opens up after 20 hours. Hey, that's the dev's fault, not mine. You know what I'm saying? That's not my problem. If it takes 20 hours for the hordes to come out, then, hey, they should have planned that better. They should have started coming out after 5 because this is doo-doo.
Listen,
we're
gonna wrap.
Sam said in the chat he's talking about Max Payne 3.
Oh yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know
That was a touch on that.
podcast like last week, man. I just beat that again for the PC. You're right, man. That game probably has the best shooting mechanics out of any game I've ever played. That game is
100%, 110%. Max Payne 3 is literally one of the best third-person shooters ever created. Absolutely. But I'm gonna tell you this right now. Yes, Rockstar made that game. I understand that. The Euphoria engine, amazing thing, right? But that has nothing to do with Red Dead Redemption 2. That's a game that takes place in 1894 or something like that. And it's a survival type of game. You have to eat food and all stuff, and it's open world. Max Payne 3 is a sequel to the Max Payne series. Max Payne 1 and 2. It's another game in that series where you slow down time, and there's bullet time and all that stuff. The point of it is the shooting. The point of it is the level design, all that stuff. That's the point of that game. You guys have to understand. When people are making games, they have a direction. They know what they're doing. When they choose to make a game clunky like that, that's intentional. That's the point. Same thing with Max Payne.
Red Dead was made to be a cowboy simulation of being in the Old West. Max Payne 1 through 3, those are John Woo movies. They're called Bullet Ballet. If you guys never seen them, they're bullet ballet movies. They're made to show shooting and finesse at shooting.
Do you remember that one game?
And like you said, Alberto, that's not an accident. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that's a direct creative direction.
Design choice.
Yes, 100%. That if they wanted Red Dead Redemption 2 to have the shooting of Max Payne 3, they could have done that if that's the route they wanted to go. But that's not the point of that game.
I don't think they would have wanted that. Yeah, I definitely would have wanted that. I actually want to ask JT real quick. We're gonna wrap up. I'm sorry, guys. We'd be talking a lot. I really feel bad for the panel more than anything because I don't want to hold you guys for so long. But I just want to ask you real quick. Do you remember there was a game? Man, it was on PS3. It was like a bullet, had like the bullet time stuff.
Stranglehold.
Stranglehold, bro. That game was fun.
If anybody's ever played that is the movie it's the sequel to Hard Boiled. That is one of the greatest action movies ever made, man. Some of the craziest gun scenes ever put to film, man. Hard Boiled. Look it up.
Look that up. But also, Stranglehold. That's a good game.
Stranglehold was good, man.
That's a good game.
The game is a sequel to the movie. It's Chow Yun-Fat doing all types of crazy stuff.
Amazing stuff. Yeah. So I just want to touch on that. Yeah, guys, we could talk all day because I love video games. We all love video games, and we could say so much stuff. Wet. I see. Yeah, I was about to mention Wet too. But oh man, there's a lot of good games back on that on the PS3 I really. Just to wrap these things up, we gotta go for sure. But yeah, so if you want one more time, Ant, say your outro.
Listen, again, second outro. Thank you guys for staying for this crazy conversation because that was completely unscripted, not ready for that. Yeah. But real quick, just because it happened as I'm talking, shout out to Joey or Joey11. for the $4 donation. I really appreciate it, man. I hope you guys had a
Pounds,
good
bro,
time.
Pounds, stop that. Or euros or something.
Pounds. Yeah,
not
euro.
dollar. I don't know what that
No,
is.
you said pounds with confidence. I believe you. Now I don't know if it's pounds or euros. So shout out for the
There's
four.
like a little E.
for the-
There's like a little E next to it. I'm American.
Shout out
I
to
don't
the
know.
shout out to the
Whatever
four.
whatever it is, we
Yeah,
appreciate it, man.
we
Thank you.
appreciate
Thank you
it.
so
Yeah.
much. Thank you so much.
Thanks to everybody for coming to this second chat. That's crazy about the video games. Really appreciate you guys. Don't forget, follow me on Twitter at Anthogar. Sub to me on YouTube if you guys like any of my gaming takes. They get a lot crazier. And thanks for coming out tonight.
All right, little.
Just have a good night, guys. Stay safe. Play your games. Don't hate anyone. And I don't know. Hashtag team I don't know.
Team
Right.
Clown
I
now.
like that one. Nah,
Team
he
Clown
said
is
team I don't know. He said team I don't know.
Team Clown is Team Real now. Don't forget that. That's what my man said.
Oh, true.
Exactly. JT.
Hey, thanks for everybody coming to hear us talk about video games. Like you said, we could talk about this for hours. I'm not active on Twitter that much because I'm an old man and I don't know how to use it that much. But I got my YouTube, so Umbrella HQ. If anybody wants to talk more about games, I got Metal Gear Solid and fighting games. That's what my channel's about. So
Yes,
have a good night. Thanks for everybody for watching.
Sounds like some real good stuff on his channel. Check him out. Check out JT. Check out Ant. I have their stuff linked in the bio or the description of this video, and also Little has her Twitter. I have it in there too. So yeah, guys, we'll catch you guys next time. Make sure you guys follow me on Twitter. That's how you guys get the best updates and just everything I'm doing. I post pictures of different things and all that stuff. Follow me on Instagram if you like too. But yeah, thank you guys so much for coming out tonight. We'll see you guys next Tuesday, and make sure you subscribe to the channel for any other videos or anything. But yeah, have a great night. Love you all. See you next week.